to every argument the Democrats made. So Kim and I obviously arrived downtown about the same time each morning. We listened to the Gordon Deal show, and they got this Rick Newman character on from the wall. It was
Yahoo Finance.
Yahoo Finance. Yeah. And all through the election, we would make comments to each other. Can you believe how biased this guy is? Like, he would call in, and his stories seemed to be making arguments in favor of Kamala Harris. Well, she would do this or she would do that, or Trump's been extreme on this or extreme on that. And Kim and I would text each other back and forth via talk to text as we're driving in, just to be clear, and comment on it. And today, it's like a flip switch, a switch flipped in Rick Newman's brain. And his comments to Gordon Deal were, well, it appears that voters saw that Joe Biden's border policy, even though he changed it 6 months ago, was really not good for America because all these people were streaming across the border. And I'm thinking, where in the hell have you been for 3.5 years? Why are you just now on the radio talking about that? Like you just found out that Biden's border policy was insane. Why didn't you say that 3 years ago?
I have a feeling that a lot of these people who were just, devout followers of Kamala Harris and any sort of policy that Joe Biden put in place, I feel like they knew that it wasn't working. I feel like they knew it was a losing strategy for her campaign, and they were just holding on to any shred of hope that they possibly could. And they don't want to say it out loud because then that discounts, I guess, what she stood for. So I actually think that more people saw what we saw earlier. They just didn't want to admit it.
Well, I think you're absolutely. What it does is that the emperor has no clothes. We know all along that they knew exactly what we were talking about. They just had no intention of saying anything that might hurt her chances of getting elected, or Joe Biden's chances of getting elected, for that matter. The whole world is seeing this guy wander around on stage, has no idea where he is. He's clearly confused. I mean, God knows how long it's been since we've actually had a president, because he's clearly not in charge except for brief periods of time when they can, put enough Adderall in his body to allow him to focus for 15 minutes for a speech yesterday. And we've been saying all along there's something wrong with this guy. Oh, he's fine. Joe Biden's at his best right now. Remember them saying that? And they knew.
Kamala was still saying that, by the way.
They knew it all along. Oh, my goodness. I mean, honestly, if you're not really enjoying this, and by the way, there's some more breaking news this morning. The Senate race in Arizona is not over by a long shot. I don't know if I'm going to say something that could be rather controversial. If the elections officials in Arizona are just like special, like did they go to special classes when they were in school? Because they've got 700,000 votes that they still haven't counted. It's Friday. Why do we allow that to happen in America? I heard Laura Trump say yesterday, maybe we need to do something federally to streamline this process a little bit. Arizona is the shining example of that.
That's what I said, by the way, not to credit myself, but I said that we need, I'm not about the whole federal mandate, you have to do it this way.
I know.
I don't have a problem necessarily with it with local elections. If states want to, run their elections a certain way, fine. When it comes to a federal election, I think this is ridiculous. And we've proven time and again now with multiple election cycles, it's not working. So, clearly Arizona has some problems counting.
In Maricopa County, once again, which is where part of the problem was in 2020 and 2022 when she ran for governor down there for Kari Lake, why is it taking so long to count the votes? I'll get back to more on this Maricopa County story because it's fascinating. Wait till you hear what the results were. So they slowly released like 72,000 votes yesterday for whatever reason. I don't know why it's taking them so long. She won 57% of the votes out of those and trimmed his lead by a full percentage point. So she's within 60 or 70,000 votes of him right now. Maybe it's less than that. I'll get to the story for you. I want you to hear it because that could be another shocker if that thing ends up going to Kari Lake in Arizona. So that's all coming up. Hey, great show for you. Eben Brown on who the president might be looking at to fill out his cabinet, the president-elect, I should say. We'll get to him coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. Our buddy Jim Carafano is going to join us. Lots of debate. Like, what happens with Ukraine funding now? What happens with what's going on in the Middle East? Major differences, major changes. We're going to talk to Jim about that coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. And we have United States Senator Josh Hawley, who just got reelected, on the show in the 8 o'clock hour today. So be sure and stay tuned for that. Looking forward to it. All right, Carl, let's get to our top stories.
The Marc Cox Short List.
I know it's a difficult time. You're hurting. I hear you and I see you. But don't forget all that we accomplished. It's been a historic presidency.
It's like he's trying to convince himself. See that smile on his face like a Cheshire cat yesterday? It's like when the guy that just cut you off in traffic gets T-boned at the next intersection by a garbage truck.
As of today, American citizens who do want to hold on to democracy, we know exactly what we're going to be spending the next days and weeks and likely years of our life working on.
Rachel Maddow lost her mind again. She wasn't crying this time, but she was definitely calling on her fellow lefties to take to the streets against Donald Trump.
So you little Trumpets, like, y'all won. I know you're happy, whatever the ain't nobody acting like bitter losers. However, y'all need to leave me the alone.
I don't know how many people in my listening audience would have actually ever listened to a song by that human being. Her name is Cardi B, and apparently she's getting a little bit of grief on social media for endorsing Kamala Harris.
Okay, so since Trump won the election, we're cooked. Yup. I'm going to be leaving the U.S. and I'm going to be moving to Hawaii.
The comments on that thread were unbelievable.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Starting with, who gets to be the first one to tell him? Wait. Please allow him to move, sign a lease on a hugely overpriced apartment somewhere in Hawaii, and then break the news to him that Donald J. Trump is still his president. What an idiot. These people are brainless.
I'm thinking of, of course I have to bring this back to Friends, the Friends episode where Monica's saying that Joey's freaking out and that he's talking about moving to Vermont, and Ross says why, and Monica says he wants to leave the country. Do you people realize this? Do we need to go back and do some sort of a geography lesson? I mean, I've told you that I'm brushing up on my U.S. history, but come on.
Yeah.
You don't know that?
Yeah. The reactions that have been coming in are priceless. We all owe a great debt of honor. I don't know if the girl that created Libs of TikTok is making money off of it. I hope that she is. I hope that she's monetized that and she's now worth $1 million. I just have to tell you that. That's my hope for her, because we owe her a great debt of gratitude. Because you, if you're not on TikTok, which I'm not, might never have the opportunity to stumble across some of the morons that share this country with you. Honestly, I'm not talking about your run-of-the-mill lib who you can have a conversation with occasionally and not want to strangle. I'm not talking about that individual. I'm talking about the ones that are mentally ill. Listen to this mom who recorded herself breaking the news to her children that Kamala Harris lost. Now, bear in mind, she's the one that scared the living hell out of them about Donald Trump to begin with. Now she's got to break the news to them that Donald Trump will be their next president.
Harris did not win.
Who won?
Trump. So I'm
Take a breath.
yeah. So today may look a little different at school.
The kids are hyperventilating in the background. And at one point, she says, "Now, you have my permission to go to the principal if you have big feelings about this during the day."
Well, they're going to confirm the feelings, right? Anything that you're feeling is justified.
Well, but She's the one that scared the bejesus out of him to begin with.
Do you think that some of these videos are staged? I've seen a lot of crazy videos. There was one girl who was shaving her head yesterday. She's like, screw the patriarchy, screw Donald Trump. And she's just cutting off her hair. I'm not wearing makeup anymore.
I'm not. So, in other words, to make herself less attractive to men.
To screw all you men over, yeah.
As if your attitude in general wouldn't make you less attractive to men.
She says, women, break up with your boyfriends, wives, divorce your husbands. That was her really nice, loving the message. I felt the joy as I watched her buzzing her head.
I've got several of those to play for you throughout the course of the morning. We'll get to all that for you coming up, and I'm going to read you this story out of Arizona as well on this Kari Lake race because the numbers down there are really, really interesting because Trump won bigly in Arizona, and you have to wonder how Kari Lake didn't benefit from that since she's very pro-Trump. And now they're slow walking the results in Maricopa County again. So all that coming up, Carl. Let's get to the fray on this Friday.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you, and happy Friday. We are off to a good start on the roads. Eastbound 70 looks great at this hour. So does 64, 40, and 44. Pretty quiet out there. So at this hour, we look good, really, no matter where you are. However, don't forget that 141 is closed under 44. And it probably will be for the weekend. That is the estimation of officials. So although the flyover ramps, there are some openings still there. We've got closures there this morning. And if you could avoid that area, that is your best bet. In fact, now they're saying the exit ramp to northbound 141 is closed, but the exit to southbound 141, there are ramp closures there as well. So, yeah, if you can't avoid it, do. It's just going to be one of those mornings, unfortunately, in that area. This report brought to you by GL International Realty. Planning to sell your home? Work with the very best. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty will guarantee to sell your home at your price or she will buy it. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 521 at 97.1. St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Hey, so the folks at Overhead Door Company are out there ready to take care of you because guess what Monday is? It's Veterans Day. We're going to the big Veterans Day parade up in Florissant on Sunday. 97.1 will be well represented up there. I'm going to MC the events on the stage and looking forward to that. Now, at Overhead Door Company, they honor veterans, too. In fact, they're doubling their normal veterans discount on all products and services for this month. That means you get 10% off instead of 5%, which you normally get, which you always get at the Overhead Door Company. That's 10% off everything, doors, openers, any service or repair, all the details right there on their website. You can also schedule your annual garage door tune-up before winter really gets here. Call them at 314-781-5200, or you can schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. The phone number is important. I'd put it in your phone. Just put it in there under garage so you'll know. 314-781-5200. If that thing's not working, they do same-day service. That's important. It's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Tyrus, welcome back to the show. Good to have you.
Gay men, straight men, women. It was a multicultural ass whipping of epic proportions.
The Annie Fry Show, weekdays from noon to 3.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
This is Christina Straight with Straight Realty reminding you why pay more than $4. In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many market's ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Straight, owner Straight Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than $4?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Nourishment for your mind. Marc Cox.
So as you can see, we know their playbook. We know Project 2025 before it was even published. And we have been working both in my office and with other Democratic AGs across this country to make sure that we would be ready to respond to any attempt to roll back our rights.
If there is a liberal in America that is more deserving of, I don't know, a throat punch or a face slap that I can think of, who's more obnoxious than Letitia James up in New York, please point them out to me. Honestly. I mean, James Carville doesn't rise to that level, in my opinion. Since she ran for office, promising to go after, to create reasons to persecute the Trump family, and actually got elected for that, she's been nonstop in Donald Trump's face, trying to find excuses to charge that family or prosecute them somehow. It's obnoxious. You're not supposed to do that if you're a prosecutor. You don't find me the subject and I'll find you the crime. I mean, that's Lenin-esque type stuff, right? I mean, seriously. And yesterday, Donald Trump's attorney, the guy that's represented him a lot, Mike Davis, was on a podcast, and they asked him about Letitia James' comments. And I just about fell out of my chair when I heard his response. Go to cut 4, Carl, please.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term. Because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights, and I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike, this isn't the same Trump administration. Stop messing around. Don't rig elections. Don't illegally vote. Don't try the funny business, because we know the team this time, and they are not effing around.
Yeah, that was, again, Mike Davis. I thought to myself, this can't be real. And then I thought, wow, I like that attitude, because they used lawfare to persecute and prosecute and harass Donald Trump. They tried to lock him up to keep him from being able to run again. Secretaries of State in Colorado, and where was the other place? Was it Maine or somewhere? Tried to kick him off the ballot so he couldn't even be on the ballot in those states. Anything they could do to prevent him from getting elected again. And guess what? Daddy's back. And you might just find out what it's like to have yourself in the crosshairs of the Department of Justice for what you've done, because Joe Biden didn't care. He encouraged the fact that his DOJ was harassing his political opponent. He encouraged it. And I don't want us to act like Democrats, but somebody's got to have the power to restrain people like Letitia James. It's insane what's gone on in this country with the lawfare. And that was a refreshing point of view there. He may take some grief for it, but I just have to tell you. At least he waited till after the election to say it. Thank you, Mike Davis. Back with Kim on a Whim after this.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Marc's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Marc, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's a pretty Friday from start to finish. A little chilly out the door, but it is November. 62 will do it for the high, mostly sunny skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 50s for evening plans. All is dry for the Friday night football games. All is dry all night long, 46. Saturday, periods of rain, some spot storms, 60. Periods of rain Saturday night. Sunday, it's all gone, partly sunny and nice, 65. Keep that going on Monday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Today, we'll find out how Americans were feeling about the economy at the start of this month. The University of Michigan releases its Consumer Sentiment Index for November. Economists expect little change compared with October. Also today, Paramount Global and NRG Energy are among companies reporting earnings. Adam Turnquist, chief financial strategist at LPL Financial, believes stocks will be going higher.
We think this rally can continue. No surprise, we've been in a bull market for 2 years. So as we like to say, the most likely thing for a bull market to do is for stocks to move higher. And I think we can see that set up in the year end. That's what seasonals suggest.
Wall Street is known to have Santa Claus rallies at the end of the year. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, let's see. This morning we've got closures at 141 at 44. Now, this all due to flooding. But 141 is closed in both directions directly under 44. And MoDOT is reporting that the ramp from eastbound 44 to northbound 141 is also closed. But you can exit eastbound 44 to southbound 141. Also closed is the ramp from northbound 141 to eastbound 44. Now, of course, this is all due to flooding. We just had an accident reported South Highway Drive at Valley Park Road, and there is an accident, looks like eastbound 44 on-ramp from Lewis Road. So expect that ramp to be closed. We've got flashing lights on the scene there as well. Now, other than those two issues, at this hour, it appears to be pretty quiet out there. The Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm camera is showing pretty quiet, especially on 55. That looks great. 40 looks good. So does eastbound 70. So we're in good shape as far as those go. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 533 and 97.1. St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
All right, let me tell you about one of my favorite places to go, and that is the Range St. Louis West. I love what those folks do out there. You feel like you're part of the family, whether you get a membership or not. Now, I'm a member at the Range, and I'm proud of that, but here's the deal. Because it's November, they have all their Black Friday specials throughout the month if you're a member. They call it their Black November sale for members. Now, everybody can get advantage of these on Black Friday, but every day of the month, they're going to start having specials. The members are going to be able to get them now. What a great idea for the holiday if you've got to shop for a gift for somebody. You can check out their new Red Dot concepts, their practical pistol classes to take your skills to the next level. You see, members get special pricing on everything, on range time, on accessories, on classes. It's just a great idea. Go out there. In fact, for the ladies, they've got something called Lady Sentinel. It's a new women's shooting group. Visit ladysentinel.com to find out more. And they were also selling tickets for the ATF raffle for Responder Rescue. You can buy them in person right there at 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin, or text Responder to 33100 to get tickets using your phone or your tablet. Visit the Range. You can shop online right now at therangeSTL.com.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at ThrottleNet, and you've probably heard George Rosenthal from ThrottleNet on the show. He's a technology whiz, and George and his team can educate you and your business on the dangers lurking with technology. Here's a unique opportunity along those lines. Does your company have a lunch and learn or guest speakers? For a limited time, ThrottleNet is providing free lunch and learns to provide cybersecurity awareness training. One click can cause a ton of damage to your business. ThrottleNet is determined to make sure that doesn't happen. And if it does, they're the cybersecurity experts who can help. ThrottleNet is known for high customer satisfaction, averaging 99% happiness with over 35,000 surveys. They have an industry-leading response time of less than 2 minutes. And no clients of ThrottleNet have ever paid ransom as a result of a cyber attack. Contact ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971 and we can schedule your free company lunch. Don't miss out. Find out more today about ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
In the know. The Marc Cox Morning Show. Kim on a whim.
Rideshare driver Lisbeth Lopez loves being behind the wheel.
I love driving around. I love getting to meet new people. I love talking to everyone.
She even becomes a bit of a tour guide, welcoming visitors to her home state of Massachusetts.
I definitely recommend the North End.
But those trips are also her livelihood.
All I want is to provide my kid.
Lopez says driving for Uber isn't putting money in her pocket like it used to.
That definitely affected the way we live. We used to be able to afford basic needs. It's getting harder and harder.
Well, here's my thought. Working as a Lyft driver, working as an Uber driver, in my opinion, is not designed to be your only source of income.
No, it's part-time.
Well, you could essentially make it full-time because you can pick your hours, right? So I have heard people where they will work close to 40 hours a week and they're driving around nonstop, or they're driving during peak hours to try to make a certain amount of income. But I just don't think that's designed to be your career. Just like I don't think that flipping burgers at McDonald's, while nothing is wrong with that, that's just not designed to be your career. So when people want $20 an hour to do that, I'm very irritated about that. Well, Massachusetts voters approved what was called Ballot 3 on their ballots, question number 3. They just approved that, and basically it's giving these drivers for Lyft and Uber the right to unionize. This already passed back in this was Seattle. I don't know if it was a statewide thing or just specifically as it relates to Seattle, but that was back in 2015. So now Massachusetts has done this.
You know who pushed that, don't you? The cab companies. It probably wasn't the Uber drivers. It was probably the cab companies. The whole appeal of Uber and Lyft to begin with was it was cheaper than taking a cab, right? And you could, because for the longest time, the cab companies didn't want Uber to be able to go to the airport and pick up rides.
Now, I don't know
because it was cheating the cab companies from those fares.
I don't think it's because it's cheaper. Maybe that's a factor in it. I think why Lyft and Uber became more popular, it's more convenient. You don't have to go call a number and arrange a time for the cab to come pick you up. You're entering it in on an app, and not only that, you can track exactly where they are, and you can see if they're delayed, and you can change it or cancel it. It's a lot easier. It kind of streamlined the process. So maybe there was a little difference in cost, but I don't think that's the main reason why Lyft and Uber became so popular so quickly.
I think originally it was a price issue. It was more convenient. But once you crawled into a cab, you were at the mercy of the clock, because your price, the price you paid, could change depending on how much traffic you hit from point A to point B. And with Uber, they told you the price up front. I really think it was a cost issue at first as much as convenience. Pretty soon, it's going to be just as expensive as or more expensive than a cab, which will make the cabbies very happy.
Well, I mean, that's a good point. I guess I haven't taken a cab in forever, and I feel like if I've had to take a cab, I feel like I'd be back in the Stone Ages, having to look up a number to even call. In fact, when I see a cab driving, it's like, oh, wow.
But St. Louis isn't like other cities. Like, you couldn't stand out here on the street corner and wait for a cab to drive by to flag it down.
Right.
You'd have to call them because there just aren't enough of them. There's
right.
no
Unlike New York, where that's very common.
Right.
And I wonder actually what the breakdown is in New York when you think about like Lyft and Uber drivers compared to taxi drivers, because I think people still like the ability to walk out of, say, work and put their hand up in the air and a driver stops. Now, what's interesting about this whole situation in Massachusetts is it's saying that in order to unionize, they're saying that active drivers, which they define as anyone who's completed 100 or more trips in the past quarter, they could participate in this unionization process. And here's how it would go down. It says if 5% of those active drivers support the formation of a union, then essentially they would release a list of all the drivers for the apps so that people could start collecting information and go trying to get them to sign this petition to say, yeah, we want to become a union. And then if 25% of those people say they want to start a union, it will form. So nothing is set in place yet, but they're setting the stage for it, right?
It's
They're giving them the option. I don't know. I think I just feel like people expect, so it's this whole mindset of like, what can you do for me, right? It's not what can I do for you? How can I serve this? How can I serve? And I understand, like, we all go to work, right, because we want to get paid. Now, fortunately, I love what I do, but I know a lot of people who are like, I don't love what I do. In fact, some people hate what they do, and it's simply a paycheck, right? They need to support their family. But I just feel like we've gotten into this mindset of like, you owe me all of this stuff. So you owe me all these sick days. You owe me paid sick days. You owe me all of these vacation days. You owe me $20 an hour to, again, I go back to flipping hamburgers.
Yeah, it is a mindset. You're right. If Uber decides to do that, here's what's going to happen. The next entrepreneur will start a competing business that's not unionized that will undercut what they're having to pay now for an Uber anywhere in that state, because the prices are going to be outrageous. They already do this dynamic pricing, which is, I mean, I guess smart on their part. If demand is up, they get paid more. But it's just going to drive the price up. That's all it's going to do. And somebody will say, well, it's raising the standard of living. Well, whatever. If you're already paying, as Joe on Morning Joe found out the other day, the butter's $7 a tub. If you're already paying more for everything else, it just causes your cost of living to go up. Mm-hmm. And you have less money to do other things with.
I wonder how much, if you drive Uber or Lyft, I'd be curious for you to comment wherever you're watching and tell me how much you can make. I bet it's more than I think, but I just don't think it's not consistent. I think that would be very hard, is that it's not, you can't count on a certain paycheck because you don't know what kind of rides you're going to get. Yeah, I mean, unless you're willing to drive weird hours, say from the bars when there's going to be, or from an event when you can surge prices. And I don't even know how that works anymore. I know they used to do that. You know, they really jack it up like, 3 times or something like that. And people were willing to pay it, right? It says, there's this article that I'm reading says the passage of this law comes on the heels of a big settlement that went into effect in August after the state sued Uber and Lyft over the treatment of its workers. The companies agreed to a minimum wage of $32.50 for ride-hailing drivers and other benefits like earned sick pay. Until I read this article, I had no idea that was a $32.50 for minimum. What?
I don't. How can there be a minimum wage?
Uber?
You're not an employee of Uber. You're like an independent contractor.
You are an independent contractor.
And I thought you just got a percentage of whatever the ride costs.
Which is why the federal law doesn't apply to these drivers, because they are considered independent contractors, right? So it's not like there's some federal protection for them to be like, yes, you can unionize, which is why Massachusetts had to pass this. How many other states are going to do this?
This is what happens when big government gets involved.
Could Missouri do this?
This is what happens. I don't know. Missouri would have no interest in doing it.
No, Mark, don't say that, because you know what? You would think that Missouri would have no interest in passing an abortion amendment that allows abortion through all 9 months. You would think that Missouri wouldn't be interested in passing an amendment that allows for minimum wage to hike up and therefore raise our prices. You would think all of these things, and yet here we are. On Tuesday, that's exactly what we did.
Yeah,
we had top to the bottom of the ticket Republican leaders, right?
I don't disagree, but that was a statewide initiative petition that got enough signatures and got on the ballot. I don't think people would vote to make their rides cost more in the state of Missouri.
But this is what you have to remember.
But
people
the legislature
don't realize,
did this,
people
not the
don't
IP.
realize that. That's the problem, is they're allowed to write. The way they phrase these things is so deceptive, and you would never talk about that. And the ballot language wouldn't include, if you say yes on this, your price is going to likely increase by blah, 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 because that would possibly get a no. So they're going to make sure that's hidden.
We'll see. Anything can happen. After Amendment 3 passed and Donald Trump overwhelmingly got elected, I would agree with that. There are people out there who just walk around in a constant state of conflict in their brain. I don't know how you can support both, but there clearly are a lot of people that do. And I don't know who those people are. I really don't. All right, coming up, I'm going to get back to this Arizona story. Interesting. The Republicans could pick up a 54th Senate seat in the state of Arizona. It's not clear yet, but the race is far from over. They're still counting ballots out in Arizona. We'll get to that coming up.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. We look pretty good on the interstates at this hour on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras. But we've got some issues. MoDOT reporting an accident eastbound 44 on the on-ramp from Lewis Road. And Lewis Road had been, flooding really close to Lewis Road at 44 anyway. And the other flooding issue we have is 141 is closed in both directions under 44. Also closed is the ramp from northbound 141 to eastbound 44, but appears that southbound is okay. Accident reported South Highway Drive at Valley Park Road. And let's see, we've got issues, some of the roads that were flooded out west are again today. Pacific adding a couple more, First Street at Watson, Highway O at Tiny Blossom, that sort of thing. But if you are an interstate driver on 55 or 44 or 64, 40 or 70, things look fine from out west into downtown. And if you're headed in from Illinois, no delays on the bridges downtown at this hour. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 547 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show wants to hear from you, and telling us what you think is easier than ever. Open the Odyssey app to 97.1 FM Talk. Click on the microphone and leave Mark and Kim a message. It's that easy to share your take.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
You know what makes every diamond unique and special are his 4 C's. Its cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. But do you know what makes Diamonds Direct special and unique? It's our own 4 C's. The first C, concept. Diamonds Direct has revolutionized jewelry shopping by eliminating middleman markups and giving you direct access to the world's finest diamonds straight from the diamond cutters. The second C, choice. Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection of precious diamonds is unparalleled. And with over 4,000 designer settings to choose from, you are empowered to make a decision that works for your style and taste. Third C, confidence. With a nationwide price guarantee, a free lifetime warranty, our unique 110% diamond upgrade policy, and our no pressure, no risk environment, you have total peace of mind. And the fourth C, community. Every year we partner with local charities and nonprofits with significant donations of time, money, and jewelry to make this a better place for everyone. Diamonds Direct, as unique, as special, and as rare as every diamond in our showcase. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
If you're trying to sell your home, there's only one group of agents in town I trust, Marc and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Marc and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers. 314-336-1991. Check out thegelmanteam.com.
At Odyssey, we believe in casting a wide net to create a diverse and inclusive workforce, as we value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be directly notified of our open positions. Again, that's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for our listeners, we invite you to visit odysseyinc.com/careers. There, you'll find an online listing of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Making radio great again. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, welcome back. I'm watching the TV screens here we have in the monitors in the studio. And I was a little surprised this year at the slow reaction by the networks to declare certain states. I mean, normally once one declared a winner, then they all fell like dominoes. And there was a real slow walk of that this year. Now, number one, I know why. Because nobody wanted to be the first one to announce that Donald Trump had been reelected. We get that. We're not surprised by that, right? But it took CBS News until this morning to declare that Donald Trump had won Nevada. This morning. The Hill had it by the time this show was on the air yesterday morning. They had Arizona and Nevada in Donald Trump's category. It wasn't until this morning that CBS decided it could declare that race. So you can't look at those things in a vacuum. And somebody's got to revamp the way they do that. I just think there's no doubt about that. Now, back to this Kari Lake race in Arizona. Ruben Gallego is the Democratic congressman that ran against Kari Lake down there. The amazing thing is that Donald Trump won bigly in Arizona. He raked in 128,000 more votes in Arizona than she did. He was declared the winner, the clear winner in Arizona. She, however, is now behind Ruben Gallego, but by a smaller amount than she was before. And there are 700,000 votes they still have to count in across the state, and 400,000, almost 500,000 in Maricopa County, which is the biggest county. What's wrong with these people?
Yeah, I don't know why they cannot figure things out when every other state pretty much has.
Florida is much bigger than Arizona and had all of its results in Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on here? Something seriously broken in the state of Arizona. Here's the good news, though. Ruben Gallego's lead over his opponent shrunk to Thursday as more results slowly trickled in. Maricopa County, which is the most populated county in Arizona, released more results about 7 o'clock last night. Gallego, a Democrat, led Lake by only 1.7 percentage points and 43,600 votes, down from 52,000 votes after they were tallied Wednesday. So she gained almost 10,000 votes out of the 70,000 that they released yesterday, right? And they're very hopeful that as the rest of these votes come in, if it breaks in the same percentage toward Lake, that she'll win this Senate seat down here. Here's the deal. The votes that they released from Maricopa County broke 57% toward Lake compared to 41% of the votes to Gallego, which is how she gained 10,000 votes out of the 72,000 additional ballots that they counted. There are still 470,000 to go, and she's only down 40,000 votes. Think about, do the math there. If it breaks the same way in the remaining 400,000 votes, Kari Lake wins. So that would be huge. And the Democrats have already concluded that they're going to hold it. Well, they wouldn't really be holding on to it, right? Because they're replacing Kristen Sinema, who switched to independent. So they would actually gain a D seat there, even though she caucused with the Democrats. But I cannot look at that and not wonder why we allow that as a country, for one state to be so slow in getting its results in. How can there be 700,000 ballots in that state that haven't been counted yet?
And what's sad is they had 4 years to figure this out because it was a disaster 4 years ago, and yet they clearly have learned nothing.
Same problem.
Yeah,
Democrat
same problem.
governor, Democrat secretary of state, and they had no intention of fixing the problem because they assumed a Democrat would win there again this time around. Hey, coming up, Eben Brown is going to join us. He is looking at some of the cabinet possibilities for Donald Trump. We'll kick that around with him at about 6:20. In other news at 6:45, J.J. Carafano at 7:20. We'll be back.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-296-3315. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now. 800-296-3315.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-296-3315. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-296-3315 or oxcarcare.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
She helped President-elect Trump win the White House again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and now she'll run the White House. And Susie Wiles, who is the Trump campaign co-chair, will make history as the first female chief of staff.
Despite her huge role in the GOP, she is rarely seen in the media. Trump says Susie is, quote, tough, smart, innovative, and is universally admired and respected, and will continue to work tirelessly to make America great again. He says he has no doubt that she will make our country proud.
Fox's Brooks Singman. President-elect Trump is also working on building his cabinet, and President Biden assures him he'll help with a peaceful transition, even inviting Trump to the White House. And as for the Democrats' election loss,
we're going to be okay, but we need to stay engaged. We need to keep going.
A Biden executive order that he said would keep families together has been undone by a federal judge in Texas who rules the president exceeded his authority, protecting hundreds of thousands of people here illegally from deportation if they're married to American citizens. The 14 states that sued to block the plan called it mass amnesty for illegal aliens. Israel has sent planes to the Netherlands with rescue teams and doctors to bring soccer fans back home after they were attacked by pro-Palestinians in Amsterdam.
5 people were hospitalized and more than 60 were arrested after an anti-Israel mob targeted and violently attacked Israeli soccer fans at the team's match. Videos posted on social media appear to show multiple fights in the streets.
That's Fox's Chanley Painter. A wildfire has left people homeless north of Los Angeles with almost nothing left.
I took a picture of my wife at the hotel last night, and I sent it to my kids, and I said, this is the sum of everything that we own. And it was a backpack, a carry-on bag, and a banker's box.
His home among the 132 houses and structures burned down by a Wynwood, Ventura County wildfire. America's listening to Fox News.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Good morning, 6:03 and 44 degrees. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. A 10-year-old girl has died after getting hit by a bus in O'Fallon, Missouri. It happened around 3:45 yesterday afternoon on Lupine Court. The girl was a student in the Fort Zumwalt School District. The superintendent says extra resources and support will be on hand today to help students and staff. Thousands of people in Franklin County and even parts of St. Louis County could be impacted by flooding today. In Pacific, the Merrimack River is expected to crest a little lower than initially predicted, but still about 11 feet over the flood stage. The Merrimack Valley School District is closed yet again today because of flooding. And in the Rockwood School District, some parents were forced to pick up their kids from school Thursday because these buses, in some cases, were not able to navigate the flooded roads. The Kirkwood School District has started interviewing candidates for the role of superintendent. David Ulrich, the current superintendent, is retiring and says he's wanting to move to Phoenix. The goal for the district is to hire somebody by January with an expected start date for the new superintendent of July 1st. It is 6:04 right now and 44 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, a 4-2 loss for the Blues last night against the Utah Hockey Club. Their next game will be tomorrow at home against Washington. Puck drops at 6 o'clock. Mizzou basketball plays tonight against Howard. Tip-off is 7 o'clock. Also tonight at 7, Illinois takes on SIUE. SLU men, they don't play again until Sunday. And last night for Thursday Night Football came down to about the last 30 seconds. Ravens beat the Bengals 35-34 after they missed a 2-point conversion. All right, coming up on 6:05 here on your Friday morning, 44 degrees of current temperature. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, I just posted on X a photo of the ramp from eastbound 44, the on-ramp from Lewis Road to eastbound 44. There is an accident there this morning, and that ramp is closed. Also reports of flooding on Lewis Road at 44, so just take care through there. And, of course, due to flooding, 141 is closed in both directions under 44. Also closed is the ramp from northbound 141 to eastbound 44. MoDOT was also reporting that the ramp from eastbound 44 to northbound 141 is closed, so just take care through there. Let's see. Other than that, we look good on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm traffic cameras. There was an accident on the Illinois side, and it's westbound 70 past Route 4. But other than that, we're fine. And if you're in the downtown area and taking the bridges in, things look good. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 6:05 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's a pretty Friday from start to finish. A little chilly out the door, but it is November. 62 will do it for the high, mostly sunny skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 50s for evening plans. All is dry for the Friday night football games. All is dry all night long, 46. Saturday, periods of rain, some spot storms, 60. Periods of rain Saturday night. Sunday, it's all gone, partly sunny and nice, 65. Keep that going on Monday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Traffic brought to you by New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring. New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring offers a state-of-the-art AI detection system, modern apartments, and delicious meals. New Perspective of Weldon Spring is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour day.
It is 6:07 and 44 degrees. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now to listen to St. Louis's home for conservative talk, 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Listen to both sides. The bottom line is, I respect that. We don't agree.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Just to find a voice. Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
I don't know how to put this.
Marc Cox.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, it adds excitement, doesn't it, folks?
All right, good morning to you. Welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. Happy to celebrate the end of a new dawn in America this week. And we're still kind of floating on air around here, enjoying watching the liberals melt down on TikTok and various social media apps and Twitter.
What do you think their narrative is going to be now that Trump has named his campaign manager a woman as his chief of staff? Susie Wiles, who, by the way, is the first female to hold that position. And I have just been laughing looking at the different headlines from all the mainstream media. Have you seen this?
What do they say? Do any of them lead with historic choice?
No. Is anybody
Glass
surprised?
broken in the White House.
Exactly. I knew they would not say that. They've been very, very just, Trump. Let me try to find one because here's NBC's. Trump names campaign manager Susie Wiles as White House chief of staff. Nothing in there about history made. You know that if it were here we go. Here's CBS. Trump picks Susie Wiles as White House chief of staff.
That's it.
That's it.
Not first woman ever in history chosen to be the chief of staff.
Nope.
In the White House.
Glass ceiling broken, shattered, nothing.
Well, you would think here's the other thing. If it was a Democrat, if it was Kamala Harris and she picked a woman to be her chief of staff, it would be power to the women. And guess what they lead with on ESPN? That famed broadcaster Pat Summerall's daughter is the first woman to be the chief of staff in the White House. But they're not going to mention that, are they?
CNN does have a little headline that says Trump announces campaign manager as first female White House chief of staff, but it's not.
It's not being promoted as a headline.
It's down below a little bit more. Yeah, it's not the main headline. I feel like if it were a Democrat, it would be in big, bold text at the top of every news outlet's
I'm
website.
Surprised that it didn't say Trump keeps women in their place by making a woman his chief of staff. She'll be forced to make sandwiches.
What is Mark Cuban thinking? Is he eating his own words right now? Because remember, he said that Trump would refuse to be around powerful, strong, intelligent women. She helped run his campaign in 2016, helped run it in 2020 out of Florida, killed it clearly on the campaign trail this time, and probably helped reel him in from some of the things that he really wanted to do. And he's reelected.
She worked for Ronald Reagan, which makes it even better. Her first political job was with the Reagan administration. And then she went on to run ads all across, to run campaigns all across America.
Helped Ron DeSantis.
Particularly Florida, particularly Florida. Several big campaigns down there. Good for her. All right, we got Eben Brown coming up on what the president's other picks might look like for his cabinet and whether or not somebody like, Senator Eric Schmidt might be on the short list for a couple of jobs. We're going to talk about that. In fact, we got Josh Hawley on in the 8 o'clock hour, and we'll ask him what he thinks about who if any Missourians may be on the short list for jobs with the new administration. I don't know. We'll see what Eben thinks. I got in other news coming up with Ethan at about 6:45. Stay tuned for that. Right now, Carl Middleman, let's get to the short list, please.
On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care.
How about that? There's some strong statements on the president's executive orders he's planning on taking the day he's sworn in as the 47th president of the United States.
I know it's a difficult time. You're hurting. I hear you and I see you. But don't forget all that we accomplished. It's been a historic presidency.
Come on, man. I don't remember half of it, but it's been historic.
This administration message to millions of Americans that they're going to wake up day after the election if Trump won and have their rights stripped away, that democracy would crumble.
Yeah, KJP there being quizzed by Jackie Heinrich of Fox, and she got so angry that she stormed out of the press briefing room. You know what else changes starting January 20th? You're going to have a president in the press briefing room again, taking actual questions from actual reporters. I don't know that I've ever seen Joe Biden in the White House press briefing room.
Introducing Amazon Echo Calm Alexa Edition. This great new device will just give you a long, rambling answer to anything you ask.
He's mispronouncing that. It's Camala. Camalexa, not Comalexa. Come on, get with the program. That was one of the funniest bits I've watched in a long time. Because, Kim, it's absolutely spot on. You can't ask that woman a question and not get word salad.
No, so, absolutely. It's so funny.
Imagine if she was Comalexa.
They were spot on when they. This is Babylon Bee, by the way, that made this up. It's worth watching the entire video. We obviously couldn't play the entire thing.
We couldn't, but you need to listen. For example, what if you ask Comalexa what the weather was? Go ahead and play cut 14, Carl, please.
Do you like your Amazon Echo, but wish its answers were more confusing? Introducing Amazon Echo Calm Alexa Edition. This great new device will just give you a long, rambling answer to anything you ask.
Calm Alexa, what's the weather like today?
Weather is big. Weather is exciting. And did you know that files are stored in the cloud? Your files, they're all up there, up in the cloud. In the cloud. So the climate is changing, and that's bad.
Oh, hey, Calm Alexa, what time is it?
The significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. When you think about it, there is a great significance to the passage of time.
Thanks, Calm Alexa.
The passage of time, it goes from here to there and then there to here again.
You see, the thing about the Babylon Bee, and I have to keep telling people, I posted up something yesterday, honestly, folks. Come on, man. I posted up something yesterday, completely tongue-in-cheek from the Babylon Bee, because that's what it is. It's satire. And the headline said, Democrats call for abolishing the popular vote. Clearly satire, because what they're normally calling for is abolishing the Electoral College, because they won the popular vote the last few times. And I had people on there responding as if it was a real story. Come on, folks. You know this was the Babylon Bee, right? This is satire. But here's the thing about it. The headlines the Babylon Bee writes about Kamala Harris should be mainstream media headlines sometimes. Like if the comedians on late night TV, other than Gutfeld, really wanted to be funny, they would have come up with that bit instead of the satire site, the Babylon Bee, like Jimmy Kimmel or any of them who would have said, hey, could you imagine if Kamala Harris needed a new job and she became the voice of Alexa? Mm-hmm. And then they could have made that joke. But they're not going to, because they're too biased. They would see no humor in it.
Right. Or if she was like the new voice of Siri, sorry if your phones are going off, or like your map app on your phone, and you asked for directions and she's like, well, if you'd like to go from here to there, you could take a yellow school bus. I love school buses. Well, she's got 70 days left before she has to start looking for that next job. What do you think? Let's guess McDonald's? How many. Well, McDonald's would be an option. She doesn't have the work experience there like Trump does. This is true. But they still might be willing to hire her. They might, just for the to work on the ice cream machine or something. All right, coming up, Eben Brown on who the short list of names are that we know of. Some of it's still speculation
that might make a Trump cabinet in the new administration. That's straight ahead.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
New accident, this one on eastbound 70 this morning at Jennings Station Road. It involves multiple vehicles, so they've got eastbound 70 closed right now while they try to get some of them out of the left lane and off to the shoulder. But, yeah, this is a jam behind it. It's early enough. Boy, this could be a lot worse if it happened an hour later. But eastbound 70 closed just momentarily here. I'm looking at it on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras while they try to get some of this accident cleared off to the side of the road. Now, we also had an accident this morning that's still there. Eastbound 44, the on-ramp from Lewis Road is closed because of an accident. There was another thing to mention. Oh, yeah, it was eastbound 70 at St. Louis Avenue. Watch out for road work in the two left lanes. And on the Illinois side, an earlier accident, that one was westbound 70 past Route 4. Things look a little bit better through there now. That one may have been cleared. Now, if you are taking eastbound 64 into downtown, it looks fine from out west. Eastbound 44 is in good shape, but don't forget 141 is closed in both directions under 44. Also closed is the ramp from northbound 141 to eastbound 44. 55 is also in good shape at this hour. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. 618 at 97.1. St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
All right, my friends over at Hampton Manor, Wentzville, would love to meet you sometime. You know, the owner out there is very specific on what he wanted when it came to Hampton Manor, Wentzville. They wanted something that was very friendly to senior citizens who might, be using rollators or walkers to get around. So wide hallways, bathrooms that are handicapped accessible, of course, things that are convenient. That's what it gets down to. He wanted people to feel like they're almost at a resort, and I think he accomplished it because I've met with him several times. He truly feels that we should do something to help the generation that helped us. So he built Hampton Manor, Wentzville. He's got a couple of other Hampton Manor locations that are going to be opening up soon that we'll be telling you about. This one's at Lake St. Louis at Highway 70, and it's about a half mile north of the interstate there. Easy to get to. Schedule your appointment. They'll even feed you lunch. They've got a private chef who's trained in seafood and salmon, and they've got a pastry chef. I've eaten lunch out there. It was outstanding. They'll treat you to lunch. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. Go to WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
97.1 on the Odyssey app on your phone. The easiest way to listen when you don't have a radio. For everything in the news.
Your home for conservative talk.
The Odyssey app. 97.1 FM Talk.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too. To help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around the store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
Financial health is more than just really the investments.
you have to look at tax consequences. You have to think about legacy planning or generational planning or your healthcare options. Those all go together with your financial health.
Join Matt Goolsby for Retire Hour to hear his team in finance, healthcare, estate, and taxes discuss changes in law, strategic planning, and answer listener questions. Submit your questions to be answered live on air at retirehour.com. Retire Hour, Sundays at 7 a.m., right here on KFTK.
He's not from the government, but he is here to help. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Jill Biden, Jill, famously said Kamala can go blank herself after she suggested that her husband, Joe Biden, was a racist who was for segregation and against busing when she was the little girl on that bus in that debate. It really infuriated Jill Biden. Many people have confirmed that.
Years ago.
Years ago. But today, I think Joe Biden gave her a little pat on the back and then distanced himself.
Yeah. He gave her a little pat on the back in his speech yesterday. What'd you think about that? He seemed pretty happy. He seemed to, like Kamala, want to stress-free and fair transfer of power, right? A peaceful transition of power. As if the Democratic Party would not have applied every legal strategy they could come up with if she had been leading Wednesday night at 11 o'clock or midnight and suddenly at 6 a.m. the next morning, Donald Trump was leading by 500,000 votes. They would have made the same allegations the Republicans did that something wasn't right with that. Now, it didn't happen this time because it was a landslide. They couldn't have generated enough fake votes in Philadelphia and Detroit and some of those places to overcome that kind of a landslide. But doesn't mean they didn't try. Part of it was the fact that they had changed. They changed the way they were allowing drop boxes and mail-in ballots and all of that. All of those things factored into it not happening this time. But I thought Joe Biden was completely insincere yesterday when in some of his comments when he talked about that. Go to cut 3, Carl, please.
Yesterday, I spoke with President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his victory, and I assured him that I'd direct my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition.
A peaceful and orderly transition. It's what we do in this country. You don't complain just because you lost, says the party that took Al Gore's case to the United States Supreme Court and then complained that it must have been biased when they lost. This is the party that have been election deniers much longer than Republicans, who they claim are election deniers. So here we go again, right? I don't know. Kamala Harris borrowed some of the same language. I'm just not buying it. And the media is finally asking some hard questions here to the Democrats, including her campaign chair. Listen to Jake Tapper, of all people. Jake Tapper got her campaign chair on yesterday and actually put the guy's feet to the fire. Go to cut 5.
I guess my question is, how did you personally get it so wrong? There's a Latina producer on my staff from Los Angeles who's been seeing this phenomenon of the Latino community moving right for years. I don't think she was surprised. I know she wasn't surprised by what happened. You were. So how did you get it so wrong?
I was. I mean, look, we were looking at a lot of the same data, a lot of data across the country, data state by state. I personally talked to numerous community groups across the country, Nevada, Arizona, met with groups of Latino men, of undecided voters. And I think of the campaign, certainly the Harris campaign, myself included, many of us in Congress believe that the Latino vote were beginning to consolidate around Vice President Harris, and that was just not the case.
In other words, I screwed up. This guy's Latino, right? And he was her campaign manager.
Yep.
Or one of her campaign people, particularly appealing to the Latino community, and he claims that he didn't see this coming.
I just feel like, how can you not have seen it coming? And maybe you were just trying to be optimistic to not get the supporters down and make them not feel like their vote would count,
So just let me make this point real quick. These internal polls that these campaigns pay for are much more accurate than the ones the general pollsters do. I don't know how. Maybe they just spend more money on it and they target more specific demographics. But when I'm sitting on the set the other night with Jean Evans, who used to run the Missouri Republican Party, she's now basically a lobbyist, but she's working for the good guys who want school choice. And she said that people involved in several of these campaigns already knew who was going to win before election night started.
I think it was obvious. I think a lot of people were in denial and just hoping it wouldn't pan out that way.
Yeah, before results ever came in on a statewide basis, she was telling me so-and-so's going to win. I mean, she knew that already. So I think that's amazing. And those are the polls we should get access to, right? Maybe the Democrats are going to want access to those, or at least they'll start paying attention. Coming up, we'll get to J.J. Carafano, find out what he thinks about what changes in foreign policy when Donald Trump gets sworn in.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
Good morning. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. 44 degrees now at 6:30 as the sun comes up. A 10-year-old girl has died after getting hit by a bus in O'Fallon, Missouri. It happened around 3:45 yesterday afternoon on Lupine Court. The girl was a student in the Fort Zumwalt School District. The superintendent says extra resources and support will be on hand today to help students and staff. A U.S. postal employee who worked in the Clayton facility was arrested for giving someone a master key that was used to steal mail in exchange for bribes. According to the indictment, Cambria Hopkins was giving Malik Jones access to that mail for over a year, from March of 2022 to August of 2023. Jones is also facing federal charges. No trial date has been set. In sports, a 4-2 loss for the Blues against the Utah Hockey Club last night. Their next game will be tomorrow at 6 against Washington. Mizzou basketball plays tonight against Howard at 7. And at the exact same time, Illinois takes on SIU. SLU men play Sunday. And last night for Thursday Night Football, the Ravens beat the Bengals 35-34. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk.
Looking at the Cordell & Cordell domestic litigation firm traffic cameras, the ramp from Lewis Road to eastbound 44 remains closed due to an accident involving an overturned tractor-trailer. Looks like they've got the tractor-trailer righted, so that's good. We're just, we've got a crane on the scene. It's a matter of time, but in the meantime, it is still closed. Also closed this morning is eastbound 70 at Jennings Station Road. They've got all lanes closed there because of a multi-vehicle accident, and they're diverting traffic off onto the ramp around the accident. And traffic, of course, is just stacked up behind it, and it's back past Lucas and Hunt. If you are headed into downtown, 6440 looks good. 44 is in good shape. 44, though, don't forget 141 is closed directly under 44. That's all due to flooding. Also closed is the ramp from northbound 141 to eastbound 44. If you are northbound on 55, there's some volume in the right lanes at 255. But if you are headed in from Illinois, we are quiet on the bridges downtown. From the Winter World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 632 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
All right, let's talk about my friends at Hanson's Tree Service for just a minute. Chad Hanson and the great folks out there working hard all the time. Had one of their great arborists to my house the other day to look at some trees that we have and we're thinking about removing. And we had questions about some others, right? Some trees that I don't have the ability to look at and identify. I just don't. It's just not in my brain. You need a tree expert to do that, and those arborists fit the bill. They'll come out to your house. They'll take a look. They'll give you their honest opinion on what you need to do, and then you can get that scheduled before winter gets here, right? Whether it's a limb being taken down or having to treat. Wintertime's a great time to treat your trees to get rid of insects that might try to overwinter in there. You want to get that done. And it's a great time for deep root fertilization as well. So whatever's going on in your yard, Hanson's can help you take care of it right now and get it in great shape for when it finally warms up again in the spring. Be sure and reach out to them. They've got landscaping mulch they can deliver right to your house. Online, it's hansonstree.com.
Now it's time for the Aftermath Analysis. Keep it here post-election to get details and commentary on everything the mainstream media isn't reporting on. Democracy 2024. The vision and strategy for 2025 is here.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in St. Louis. 2 days only at the Hilton Frontenac, Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. Register now at DelHelpMeNow.com. That's DelHelpMeNow.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. DelHelpMeNow.com. Code 2024.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, and you believed they'd be kept safe. But now you've learned the nursing home has violated that trust. You've discovered bed sores, broken bones, and infections. Your loved one did not receive the care they deserved. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect or abuse, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE. Onder Law, making a difference one case at a time.
if you and your male partner voted differently this election, if he voted for that man, you need to leave him. You need to leave him. I'm sorry.
Another Libs of TikTok video that's going viral this morning. And this one went on for like 4 minutes.
Was she one of the girls who was shaving her head in protest of the patriarchy?
She was not. But I couldn't believe some of the stuff she was saying. Like this one. Listen, I'm gonna play this one. I swear to God is my witness. I was today days old when I found out this was even a thing. Listen.
The first thing you're going to do is you're going to delete your period tracking app. I don't care what state you're in. Go into your history, take out a paper planner, write down your history so that you have it, because I know that you track it, you use it to track ovulation and all of that stuff. You can't do that in an app anymore. Before you delete the app, you're going to delete your data out of the app. That's not a sure way to make sure that they can't use it against you later, but it helps.
I'm sorry, why are we not supposed to track that?
I don't know.
How is that in protest of Trump and the patriarchy?
Somehow the Trump people are going to get into your app and figure out your business. And you need to delete all that stuff right now and write it down before you divorce your husband who might have voted the other way.
Nick Schroer put on Twitter, he goes, I'm so old, I remember when the view that Britney Spears shaving her head was a sign of a mental breakdown, and now suddenly doing it is a fashionable form of protest. That is the new thing now. A lot of these women are shaving their heads, and I just want to cry. They have such beautiful hair, and it just makes me sad and confused because I don't get how that's in protest.
They're fighting
to
the
Trump
patriarchy.
again, but
I know.
again, to make themselves not a I don't know.
All right. We'll get. I'll play some more of that for you coming up just a little later. Let's get to Nicole Murray, please. Hey, Nicole, how are you?
Good morning. It's Friday, so I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
You know, I was listening to you talk to Gordon this morning about the football game last night and how obviously not distraught you were over the way it ended, and yet how you picked your teams and you're leading the office pool, and that literally just drove him crazy.
They keep asking me what my tactic is, and I won't tell them this, but it's kind of like an eeny, meeny, miny, mo type deal.
That's usually how it works. Like with March Madness, don't even try to be logical about it. Just guess and pick random teams, pick some upsets, and then boom, you're probably more likely to win.
So, yeah, I definitely like to do a little bit of an extra flex or two when we come in on Mondays and we have to see the results from the weekend.
As long as you didn't go off of whoever's uniform you think is the cutest.
No. We're a little bit beyond, more advanced than that.
That's good. What else? What's going on in business out there today?
Okay, so futures are slightly higher. Wednesday, the Dow Industrials were down by 0.5 point. The Nasdaq up 285, the S&P 500 up 44. Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg said employees furloughed during a 7-week strike by factory workers would be repaid by the company for lost wages. However, Boeing said it would proceed with plans to cut about 10% of its global workforce. This will equate to approximately 17,000 job cuts. The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits ticked up last week. The Labor Department reported jobless claims applications rose by 3,000 to 221,000 for the week ending November 2nd. Layoffs totaled nearly 1.9 million, the highest since late 2021. The average rate on a 30-year mortgage in the U.S. rose for the 6th straight week, returning to its highest level since early July. The rate ticked up to 6.79% from 6.72% last week. That's according to mortgage buyer Freddie Mac. This number is still down from a year ago when the rate averaged at 7.5%. Sony has revised its fiscal year 2025 revenue target up slightly to $83.3 billion. It was previously targeting $82.7 billion in sales. The tech giant reported better than expected profit for the September quarter, with operating income jumping 73% year over year. That came as Sony saw strength in its game and network services division. Nearly 600,000 Gobi smart electric space heaters are being recalled because they can overheat, posing fire and burn hazards. The recall follows more than 100 reports of the product overheating, including 7 fires. The heaters were sold online by retailers, including Amazon, TikTok Shop, and more. And finally, researchers from FitRated have revealed that gym equipment has more bacteria than toilet seats. So yes, cleaning your equipment after every use is important.
We know people don't do that, though.
Of course they don't.
I tried to do it like if you're walking on a treadmill or something, they've got the wipes right there that you can wipe down the rails with, but I don't see people doing that with the dumbbells and the bench press and all that other stuff.
Did you wipe down your 5-pounders the other day?
What's it? Oh, yeah, I did. Thank you.
Only 5 pounds, huh?
Wow. Wow. You see what I'm putting up with around here, Nicole?
No,
Actually,
I don't know.
For therapy on my right shoulder, I was using a very light 5 or 8 pound weight.
I do get that. You are having issues with your shoulder. That's fair.
Oh, for therapy. All right. Well, now, all right. Our bad.
You know
Our
what you
bad.
were suggesting.
I'm
That's
still
all
trying
right.
to get back to the gym. I used to love working out. I was doing Orange Theory for a long time before I got married, and then once I got pregnant
You got
and was
married.
very sick. No, it's not because I got married. I think that's not okay
Oh.
when women just sit there and say, forget it, I'm not going to try anymore now that I'm married. That's not fair. You shouldn't do that.
I don't think it's that. It's just they run out of time. They're running a
Well,
household.
Yeah, no, and I think that, I'd like to get back to the gym. I do some at-home stuff, but not on a super consistent basis.
I can't
that's
stand
goals
the
for me.
gym. It's like you're stuck in a box. You're working out in a box. You're on a treadmill. You're running, but you're staying in place.
Yeah,
like I
that's
get so bored.
Yeah, I get that.
And then I start wondering, like, well, what do I have to do when I'm done? And I wonder why is the parkway driven on, but you park on the drive? Like my mind goes crazy places because there's just too much time to wander in the gym. So
I get it.
Well, Nicole, if you're ever outside and you see me running, of course, first of all, I'd have to be in New Jersey, but you see me running, you should run too because something horrible is chasing me.
Oh, that would be the only reason.
Primary reason I'd be running.
Well, noted.
Good talking to you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks. You guys too.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Nicole Murray there. Up in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
I tell you, I got a whole new impression of New Jersey after we went. First of all, 30 years ago, I got to go up there and go to the Jersey Shore before all the MTV Jersey Shore crap.
Gosh.
And it was
Snooki.
idyllic. I mean, it was like something out of a postcard. Like we stayed in a house that the street ended at the beach, and we were like 4 or 5 houses in, and you could get out and walk down there. Like there was a lighthouse, and I mean it was just gorgeous. And I'd always had this horrible impression from gangster movies of what New Jersey looked like, and it was beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I know it is pretty, but I just picture it as kind of trashy
It's
and
not at
a
all.
lot of teenagers who were just getting wild.
No. Maybe because of that MTV stuff, but it's really not. It's not like that anymore.
Isn't that funny how shows and movies can really shape our view on something? We've never actually seen it, experienced it ourselves, and we've already come up with this idea of what it's going to be like in reality.
Very true. And because of gentrification, remember that word that the left loves, the part of New Jersey directly across from New York City is very nice now, too. When we went up and pulled our camper up there, we stayed at Liberty Park, which is the marina where you take the boats out to the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. And we felt perfectly safe and comfortable walking. You had to walk about 4 or 5 blocks to catch the train to go over into downtown Manhattan. We never felt threatened at all. I mean, it's a very nice area now. So anyway, if you ever go up there, just so you know, it's probably cheaper to stay over there than it is in Manhattan.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I grew up going to Massachusetts and New Hampshire, that whole area, because that's where my parents are from, and I love it. It's so pretty up there.
Very nice. All right. Coming up, we're going to get to In Other News with Ethan. A little change of plans here. We were going to have Senator Josh Hawley in the 8 o'clock hour. Now he's going to join us right after the top of the hour here at about 7:08. So be sure and tune in. We'll get his thoughts on the election outcome, what this means for the future of America. We'll be back in just a minute.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
We've got some issues on the roads this morning. This accident eastbound 70 at Jennings Station Road, they have all lanes blocked and traffic is being diverted up and around on the ramp. But boy, has that created a jam behind it. So eastbound 70 drivers, it's a jam for you back past Bermuda. Yeah, it's getting closer and closer to Florissant Road. So 70 is a mess right now. If you take Eastbound 6440, it looks fine. 44 is also in good shape. Now, there's an accident on the eastbound 44 on-ramp from Lewis Road. That was an overturned tractor-trailer. But 44 itself is okay. And 141 remains closed under 44. Also closed is the ramp from northbound 141 to eastbound 44. Now, we're seeing some volume this morning on Highway 30. And it's slowing out at Northwest Boulevard and then east of 141 through 270. 270 northbound, mainly moderate volume at this hour, and it's between 21 and Gravois, but looks fine to the north of there. 55, a little slow in the right lanes at 270. And we're still in good shape. If you're headed in from Illinois on the bridges downtown, things are looking good on the Cordell & Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. This report brought to you by Mosby Building Arts. It's 647 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
After a whirlwind year, bring peace back to your home. Enjoy 10% off Mosby remodeling projects or no payments until 2026. Call 314-909-1800 by December 31st. Mosby Building Arts, bringing joy home.
All right, let's tell you for just a minute about one of my favorite trips I've taken to a distillery, and that was to Old Dominick. And it wasn't on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. It's in Memphis, Tennessee. This is where Old Dominick started back in the 1800s, and now 5 generations later, the founders' great-great-grandchildren are running it, and it's fantastic. You're going to love this place. If you're ever in Memphis for any reason, I hope you go in there. They're rolling out some exciting new releases right now that are in the stores. That would be their cask strength bourbon. Yes, it's cask strength. That means it comes right out of the barrel. It's not decreased in alcohol content at all. It's a big taste. You don't want to arm wrestle with it, let's put it that way, but you're going to love drinking it. And if you love bourbon, you're going to love this cask strength. They've got their straight bourbon. That's 90 proof. And it is just a great flavor with a little bit of rye spice added into it. The Bonded Tennessee whiskey is good. It's fantastic. I just had some on my latest camping trip. And even the Old Dominick Tennessee whiskey that you find is really going to make you reimagine Tennessee whiskeys. They just do great work at Old Dominick. Wine and Cheese Place carries it. Friar Tuck, Randall's. I'm pretty sure I saw it at the grocery store the other day. But if you don't see it, ask for it by name. Thanks to our friends at Lore Wine and Spirits. It's Old Dominick.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Tyrus, welcome back to the show. Good to have you.
Gay men, straight men, women. It was a multicultural ass whipping of epic proportions.
The Annie Fry Show, weekdays from noon to 3.
Supporting your nutrition should be easy. That's why we created the Neovitin Women's Multivitamin monthly subscription. Get your daily Neovitin Women's Multivitamin delivered directly to your door every month. You can pause or cancel your subscription at any time with no long-term obligations. With B vitamins to support energy, vitamin D for bone support, and our physician-formulated proprietary blend, Neovitin Women's Multivitamin is here to support your nutrition every day. Start supporting your nutrition and sign up for a monthly Neovitin Women's Multivitamin subscription today at neovitin.com.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
A strong mind and a legislative body. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
A new Star Wars trilogy spearheaded by Simon Kinberg is in early development at Lucasfilm, making a potential fresh saga in the franchise. Now, Kinberg was known for his work on X-Men and Star Wars Rebels. He's going to be writing and producing it. And although the plot details are kind of thin at the moment, they really don't know what it's going to be, but
Don't
it's just
hold
something
your
to
breath.
look. You don't think it's coming?
You know how many Star Wars things they've announced in the
That is
last
true.
5 years
Yes.
that has not come to fruition? At least 10.
Yes.
It's like the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, I'm not
Well,
holding my breath.
Carl Middleman always stands up a little straighter when the Star Wars music is played.
Yep.
But if he's not enthused about it, I'm not going to be.
Well, it's-
Oh my
looking too
gosh,
forward to
totally
it.
agree, Mark. Totally agree.
But honestly, they've announced so many things, and
That is true.
like they had Patty Jenkins was going to do one.
Ryan Johnson.
That's because they can release anything on Disney that says Star Wars, and they automatically get
this
people
is-
that'll watch it, whether
Right.
there's any quality to it or not.
This is movies. This is the first
Yeah.
time that we're going to make 3 movies. Sure, you are. And there's this whole Ray project that they said they're going to do. Is that this?
No.
See,
Yeah.
I've been burned enough.
I'm sorry.
I read 85 books that then Disney bought it, and they said, those books you read, they don't matter. So,
Oh.
All right, a little bitter. All right. 3 individuals have been arrested and charged in connection with the death of former One Direction singer Liam Payne in Argentina. Authorities allege the suspects were involved in illicit conduct, including abandonment leading to death and supplying narcotics. Payne reportedly fell from his hotel balcony on October 16th while in a state of partial or total unconsciousness, with toxicology testing showing he had alcohol, cocaine, and antidepressants in his system.
How could you fall from the balcony if you were unconscious?
Well, he was
are they
conscious enough
suggesting
to
these
get to the
guys
balcony and
threw
fall.
him off? I mean, abandonment? What is that?
and why
tell me
did
what
these
your
guys get arrested?
So
Yeah.
my question was, like, for example, the Matthew Perry thing with the ketamine, right? Like, they were kind of conspiring, it sounds like, to give him all of this stuff to get him
To
addicted,
get
I
him,
guess.
okay.
But this one, I don't know. I guess I question when people in this case would be arrested and charged. It sounds like with what? The supplying it to him?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I understand it to a degree, but part of me feels like, maybe I'm a cynic, it's like, well, you took it. Unless they forced it down his throat,
Right.
you were the one who took all of that stuff together. So where is there... I
Well,
don't
we
know.
don't know, do we?
No, we
Yeah.
don't know.
That's why those guys were arrested. Maybe.
Well,
They said
Maybe they were, yeah,
Go
who
ahead.
knows?
What
With
were you
him
gonna
on the balcony and didn't do anything to prevent him from going out. Who knows?
Yeah, they've said they got security footage analysis helped lead to the arrest. One of them was a hotel employee. He's the one that supplied the cocaine and a narcotics dealer for selling drugs to Payne. So maybe they're trying to get him on the other
I
stuff.
mean, if you're
as far
selling
as
cocaine, obviously that's a crime in and of its. Can't do that. But anyway,
can't be
we'll,
able
we'll
to
see.
soon.
Uh-oh.
That's Argentina.
Well, no, you can't do that on the side. I know that's your side hustle, Carl, but you need to stop. I'm going to call you out on that.
I'm sure you probably have heard of this already, but in South Carolina, 43 young rhesus macaque monkeys escaped from an Alpha Genesis primate research center.
How
after
many?
43.
I thought it said 3 when I read it. It said 43?
I saw 43.
Oh, my gosh.
After the employee accidentally left their enclosure open, police urged residents to secure their windows and their doors and avoid approaching the monkeys, who were described as skittish and too young to carry disease. Winky face.
So
said they had not-
when's the next pandemic that comes?
Exactly.
It said they were
Monkeypox?
That's what I'm saying.
6 to 8 pounds apiece, so they don't look all that big. And they hadn't been part of any medical testing yet. They were still too young. So
So how would they know that they're not
let
going
me
to
tell you
carry
what,
anything?
In South Carolina, it's
Exactly.
open monkey season today. I'll just tell you that.
Those monkeys, by the way, look really cute, but they can be vicious.
Yeah.
Rip
I mean,
your face off.
Yeah,
It's a good thing it didn't happen around here. My wife would try to pet one.
I would too.
I know she would.
like the monkeys in the diapers or in the little clothing is so cute.
Until it rips your face off.
Well, that too, Carl. Yeah, wouldn't like that.
No way. Kim, I know you reported about Rachel Reagan earlier this week, or I think it was earlier this week. Well, apparently she has announced her retirement from competitive breakdancing following her viral Olympic performance in Paris, which drew heavy criticism and backlash. Gunn, who was shut out of all 3 of her Olympic battles, faced questions over her qualifications and saw clips of her dancing turned into viral memes, so she is going to retire.
Yeah, but she's probably raking
Laughing
in
all the way to the
so
bank.
much
Exactly.
money from, I don't know if she's doing endorsements or what, but surely she is.
Yeah. And one final one for all you Starbucks lovers out there. They have launched its holiday season lineup. It's featuring the festive cups in red, pink, and green, which we saw a lot of yesterday in our company meeting, along with popular seasonal drinks like the peppermint mocha, caramel brulee latte, and chestnut praline latte.
Oh, I can't wait.
With about 800 calories probably
Nope.
per drink and a ridiculous amount of sugar.
You will not find me anywhere near that place. All right, coming up after the top of the hour, Is Josh Hawley on a short list for a new Trump administration? We don't know. I don't have any indication of that, but we will ask him because we've got him live right after the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Did you know millions of people are getting prescription medications for weight loss, sexual health, better sleep, and more, all online? RexMD.com has made getting these medications fast and easy, with free delivery of the most popular medications right to your door. Just fill out a brief survey, and if appropriate, we'll prescribe and ship clinically proven options to help with issues like weight loss.
I've lost 45 pounds so far. It's nice to get back into clothes that I haven't been able to wear for a long time.
We can also help with insomnia.
I slept through the whole night. It made me feel very well rested and ready to go for the day.
And RexMD can improve your sexual health.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is happier. I am definitely much happier.
At RexMD.com, we've made the process fast, easy, and affordable. Visit RexMD.com right now to get started. That's REXMD.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Well, there's a very good chance as you've driven down your street, you have admired houses in your neighborhood that have been covered in Rhino Shield, and you don't even know it. Except if you pay close attention, you'll notice that they're not being repainted every couple of years. What I mean is same bright, vivid colors that you would choose with regular paint, except that Rhino Shield lasts, and you're going to get a 25-year warranty with it. I've got it on my house, and I mean it. It looks like it did the day they put it on. It lasts and lasts. It's lab tested to last that long against chipping or peeling or cracking. And they put this on businesses as well. Condo units from Springfield, Illinois, all the way down to the Lake of the Ozarks. You can find it. And my friend Darren will be happy to come over and give you a free evaluation of your home. All you have to do is call him. Tell him you heard Marc Cox talking about it. 877-25-RHINO or online at 877-25rhino.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Anti-Semitism in Amsterdam. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and it was violence. Israeli fans of a soccer team from Tel Aviv were attacked by pro-Palestinian mobs.
It is being described by the King of Netherlands as an anti-Semitic crime. Now, the Amsterdam police chief just said moments ago 5 people were injured and treated in the hospital, 20 to 30 minor injuries. Footage shows Israeli fans being kicked and stomped on the ground, running, even jumping into Amsterdam's famous canals to escape.
That's Fox's Matt Finn in Tel Aviv. Israel has sent planes to Amsterdam to bring those fans home. A fast-moving, wind-driven wildfire keeps scorching Southern California north of L.A.
It was like a hurricane came through, a tornado, just...
That fire has burned down 132 structures in Ventura County, many of them homes, and people barely had enough time to get out, losing everything. Thousands have evacuated. A first, as President-elect Trump keeps working on building his administration with a key first appointment.
Susie Wiles becomes the first female chief of staff in U.S. history. President-elect Trump calling her tough, smart, innovative, and universally admired and respected.
Fox's Aisha Hosni in West Palm Beach, Florida. Wiles had been the Trump campaign co-chair.
I've personally spent some time with her. She cares deeply about the president-elect and is committed to his policies.
Trump will have an easier time getting his cabinet appointed in the Senate. Republicans have won 53 seats, expanding their majority in the next Congress. Dave McCormick, the latest winner, unseating Democrat Bob Casey in Pennsylvania, telling Fox that voters wanted change.
They represented that desire for change by electing President Trump. I think the same with me. They're deeply distressed by the skyrocketing prices, the wide open border.
Two other Senate races still too close to call. In the House, Republicans have won 211 seats and need to win just 7 out of the 25 races not called to retain the majority. America's listening to Fox News.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Good morning on this Friday, 7:03 our time right now, 44 degrees. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. A 10-year-old girl has died after getting hit by a bus in O'Fallon, Missouri. It happened around 3:45 yesterday afternoon on Lupine Court. The girl was a student in the Fort Zumwalt School District. The superintendent says extra resources and support will be on hand today to help students and staff. Thousands of people in Franklin County and parts of St. Louis County could be impacted by flooding today. In Pacific, the Merrimack River is expected to crest a little lower than initially predicted, but still about 11 feet over the flood stage. The Merrimack Valley School District is closed again today, and in the Rockwood School District, some parents were forced to pick up their kids Thursday because in some cases the buses couldn't navigate the flooded roads. The Kirkwood School District has started interviewing candidates for the role of superintendent. David Ulrich, the current superintendent, is retiring and says he has plans to move to Phoenix. The goal is to hire someone for the position by January with an expected start date of July 1st. It's 7:04 right now and 44 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, a 4-2 loss for the Blues against the Utah Hockey Club last night. Their next game will be tomorrow at home against Washington. Puck drops at 6. Mizzou basketball plays tonight against Howard. Tip-off is 7 o'clock. Also happening tonight at 7, Illinois takes on SIUE. And the SLU men, they don't play again until Sunday. Well, last night for Thursday night football, this was just ridiculous. Came down to the last 30 seconds, and because of a failed 2-point conversion, the Ravens went on to beat the Bengals 35-34. 44 degrees now coming up on 7:05. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Eastbound 70 remains closed at Jennings Station Road. This is due to an accident. We've got a parking lot jam behind this thing that goes back to Florissant Road. Do not take eastbound 70 at this hour. Westbound 70 drivers are slowing for a look. Now, there's also an accident reported southbound 270 just before the Rock Road and some slow-moving traffic there. Crews, by the way, have had the on-ramp from Lewis Road to eastbound 44 closed this morning because of an accident. And, in fact, it's still closed. So if you could just avoid that ramp, that's a good idea. They've got the tractor trailer righted, but they have yet to leave the ramp. Let's see. Other than that, we've got the usual volume. Oh, don't forget 141 is closed under 44 this morning. And, of course, Mama Kay saying that people in Fenton are using Bowles Avenue to get onto Highway 44. She says it's moving pretty well, but there's a lot of volume in there. And 44 itself looks pretty good. We do have volume eastbound Highway 30 between 141 and 270, and northbound 270. Most of the volume right now is between 21 and Gravois. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 706 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's a pretty Friday from start to finish. A little chilly out the door, but it is November. 62 will do it for the high. Mostly sunny skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. 50s for evening plans. All is dry for the Friday night football games. All is dry all night long. 46 Saturday. Periods of rain, some spot storms. 60 periods of rain Saturday night. Sunday, it's all gone. Partly sunny and nice. 65. Keep that going on Monday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
44 degrees now at 7:07. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now to listen to St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
I want to compliment your show on how fair and level-headed everything you guys talk about.
Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
Maybe what we need from a conservative standpoint is
the Marc Cox Morning Show.
I respect that. We don't agree. Listen to both sides.
This,
let's get it on,
is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Statement is absolutely true. She's universally respected in the party. The organization of the campaign and the fact that he stuck with the leadership team all the way through, I think, is a testament to just what a great job that she did. Being the first female chief of staff in the White House, I think, is a huge marker for both President Trump and the Republican Party. So I think if she can bring the kind of discipline and organization to the White House that she just ran this campaign with, Donald Trump's got a really good chance to get off to a great start and begin achieving objectives right out of the way. So you're going to get a lot of attaboys from across the Republican spectrum for picking Susie Wiles tonight.
All right, Scott Jennings, thanks so much. We'll be right back.
Yeah, Scott Jennings there last night bragging about the Trump administration. The first announcement is the big news this morning as his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, historic in nature, right? And they said during the election that Trump was bad for women and didn't surround himself with
powerful, strong, intelligent women, according to Mark Cuban.
They'll never give him a bit of credit for that. Hey, right now we've got United States Senator, newly elected, I should say, reelected, Josh Hawley on the phone. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to have you on. So, I mean, this is big news. I joked earlier, Josh, I'm surprised the media didn't lead with, Trump picks a woman for chief of staff and probably will want her to make sandwiches. I mean, they really downplayed this as much as possible.
Well, it's a terrific choice, I know, and she obviously did a great job running the campaign. But what a testament to Donald Trump. I mean, let's sink in. The guy is going to win a decisive popular vote margin victory, as well as, of course, a decisive victory in the Electoral College, something that no pundit thought was possible just a few days ago. So I mean, this is really, and you look across demographic groups. I mean, he performed outstanding with women. I mean, female voters in our state, but in multiple states all across the country, female voters voted for Donald Trump because they know that he's going to make their lives better. He's actually going to make things affordable again. He'll be able to raise a family again, be able to get a good job again. It's going to be great for families, men, women, kids, all across the country. And I think, I can't wait to get started on it.
Well, rumor has it Trump could pick Senator Eric Schmidt to serve in his cabinet. What would you think about that?
Oh, that'd be great. That would be great. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Eric's, of course, gotten to work together the last couple of years. So, I see several Missourians on some short lists for cabinet positions and high positions in the administration, and I'm a huge fan of that. I mean, I just think it's going to be terrific. He's going to have a great cabinet, and I just can't wait to get started. I mean, it's January cannot come soon enough. We've got so much work to do, and I can't wait to get to it.
Are you naming names? Who are the other Missourians?
I don't want to get ahead of the president.
Would you want to serve in his cabinet?
I'll say it again.
Would you want to? Would you want to have a position?
No, I do not. No, to be clear, that it does not include me. I've just been reelected to the Senate. I am absolutely ecstatic to be representing the people of Missouri in the Senate, and I think that's where I belong, and I think where I could be most effective. But he's going to have a great cabinet, and if he wants that to include Senator Schmidt, it would be a huge loss for the Senate, but it would be a great gain for the country. And like I said, I don't want to get in front of the president ever, but I'm excited for him.
Well, Senator Josh Hawley, our guest, obviously right now we're looking at leadership in the Senate now that you guys have clearly regained it, maybe by several more votes before all the counting is over with here. Who are you putting your vote behind for that?
Well, I'm going to support Senator John Cornyn for leader, and the reason is, number one, I think he will work very closely and effectively with President Trump. And listen, I've seen enough to know that if you've got a majority leader who is not supporting Trump and is not working with Trump, it does huge damage. That's what happened with Mitch McConnell in the first 2 years when I was in the Senate. Frankly, I thought McConnell obstructed Trump at every turn, and I don't want to go back to that. I want somebody who's going to work very closely with Trump, number one. Number two, John Cornyn has pledged to support term limits and to support term limits for the leader, and I'm a big term limits guy. I think that we don't need folks who are in Washington forever, who are in leadership forever. I think one of the reasons that you see so many of these politicians get so out of touch is that they're in these positions for decades. Our last leader, McConnell, was in the position for almost 20 years. That is too long. And the fact that John Cornyn says he is for term limits, he will work with Trump, he will try and get the Senate actually working again, getting some things accomplished. That's music to my ears.
Yeah. Senator, there's an opportunity here, and it seems like, I hate to give them credit, when the Democrats hold power, they brutally deliver their agenda. And we have an opportunity here, if we retain the House, to deliver on some big agenda items. What would your top items be if you can get them accomplished?
Well, we have to, number one, close the border. I mean, I think that's been very clear. This was a huge priority of the president's in the campaign, huge priority of mine. We've got to close our border. We've got to stop the flow of drugs into the state of Missouri. We've got to stop the flow of illegal criminals into our state and deport those folks, beginning with the criminals. Hundreds of thousands of criminal illegals, they have got to be deported. We've also got to open up American energy production, Mark. I mean, I think that is so vitally important. You want to get this economy growing. You want to get jobs back. You want to get inflation down. We've got to reopen our own energy production, and that includes all the energy we produce in the state of Missouri. And, of course, for me, getting the radiation exposure program passed, all of our nuclear radiation victims in the St. Louis, St. Charles area and around the state, we have got to get that passed. John Cornyn, who we talked about a second ago, has pledged to me he will support RECA, as it's called. And I think that is so important for our state. It's been a huge priority of mine for the last 2 years and will continue to be until we get that thing over the finish line.
I know things have been kind of a mess, specifically in Arizona, among a few other states, where they're still counting all of these ballots. So we're waiting for results. Laura Trump, we were playing a clip from her yesterday, I think, where she's saying, for these federal elections, maybe we need to have something where all states agree to run the election the same way. Would you back that?
Oh, I think that we need, I agree with that sentiment, absolutely. And I would start with, I think we need nationwide voter ID. I mean, I just think that this is a no-brainer. The idea that in so many of these states, you don't have to show an ID of any kind in order to vote. Many states, we now know, we're trying to put illegals on their voter rolls. I mean, this is outrageous. I think we need nationwide voter ID. I think we ought to ban ballot harvesting nationwide. I mean, there is no reason that ballot harvesting, where you let somebody come in, take the other person's ballot, you have no idea if who really cast the vote, you've got no signature verification. That is so dangerous, I think. So there's a lot we could do nationally that would still leave control of the administration of the election to the state, sure. But I think we need some guardrails nationally, and we can begin with voter ID. I mean, that ought to be something that everybody can get behind.
Well, Senator, one final question here. Speaking of that, I mean, I'm fine with leaving some of that control to the states. I think that's how the system was set up. But in Arizona, in Maricopa County, I read they've still got nearly 500,000 ballots they haven't counted yet. What in the world is going on out there? I mean, Ron DeSantis delivered the results Tuesday night. In Arizona, we don't know yet.
I agree with you, Mark. I think it's totally absurd. I mean, it's just absurd. I think for their state elections, it's horrible. But for these federal elections, for the Senate, for the House, the president, the fact that we don't know and won't know for whoever knows how long it'll be. I mean, I just think that is really a travesty. And obviously, I'm not a citizen of Arizona, and I'd recommend our laws to them. I mean, we seem to be able to do it pretty well in Missouri. They ought to take a strong look at our laws. But I go back to the fact that, we ought to have some basic federal guardrails here for federal elections in all of these states, where we're making sure we're protecting the due process of law, that every ballot in each state is getting treated the same way. I just worry about disparate treatment, that who knows on what standards they're counting, who knows how they're doing the count. It's a total black box in Arizona, and I worry about that, and I continue to worry about illegals voting. I worry about dead people voting in many of these states. We need to have some basic standards.
Well, let's hope they get that done, and maybe Carrie Lake will join you in the Senate before this is all over with. Senator, thank you.
That would be awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great having you on this morning. Congratulations again.
Thanks so much.
All right, we'll talk soon. Senator Josh Hawley there giving us some time this morning. Yeah, I think he's right on the voting thing. There's no reason we shouldn't have standards for how this is done around the country.
I agree. I think there has to be something that we can all agree on, that this is the way that it's going to be run.
Yep. Well, some people will never agree with that, but while we've got power, let's see what change we can affect here. Coming up, Jim Carafano. I bet he's got some thoughts on who needs to be handling foreign policy in the new Trump administration. We'll be right back.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, we've had some issues on the roads this morning. There is an accident that just came in eastbound Highway 30 at Carroll Park. Eastbound Highway 30 already stacked up between 141 and 270 this morning. Accident eastbound 70 at Jennings Station Road, and they have closed down eastbound 70 at Jennings Station because of this accident, and it remains closed at this hour. I can see it on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm traffic camera. So traffic is a parking lot back through Florissant Road. Also an accident southbound 270 before you get to the Rock Road. And don't forget 141 is closed in both directions under 44. So people in Fenton are using Bowles to get to 44 this morning. A little bit busy, but it's still moving. So that's some good news. Northbound 270, moderate volume 21 on up through Gravois and a little bit slow at the Clayton Road overpass. Northbound 55 is in good shape. And, 70 eastbound out west, there is a slow go as you head for Lake St. Louis Boulevard. I'm not sure. There's not been an incident reported yet, but it's definitely showing a jam. Oh, there it is. Accident reported at approaching Lake St. Louis Boulevard, and some slow-moving traffic behind it that goes back through 64. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 718 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Hey, are you looking to maybe lose some weight, worried that with cold weather coming on, you're going to have the sweaters and the bulky coats going to hide some of that? You can still get that weight off there. Talk to my friends over at Victory Men's Health about semaglutide. That's one of the many great services they offer you and options at Victory Men's Health. It's pretty wide-ranging, from weight loss to vitamin deficiencies, hormone optimization, sexual health issues. When you go to a general practitioner, you're dealing with people who got a lot on their minds. At Victory Men's Health, there are medical doctors who have men on their minds. They deal with men's health issues. They take a blood test, they figure out what's wrong with you, and they fix it. Trust me, I've been a client over there for well over 6 years now, and I've loved working with them. Right now, they're even doing cardiovascular testing if you're interested. That's one of the leading killers worldwide, and it's good to know if you may be running a risk there. Go to Victory Men's Health, VictoryMen'sHealth.com, and set up a visit to one of their 4 locations: Sunset Hills, O'Fallon, Missouri, O'Fallon, Illinois, or Town and Country.
If you use a smart speaker, you can listen to 97.1 easier than ever. Just tell it to play 97.1 FM Talk. Or download the Odyssey app for your phone and stream the station whenever, wherever.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world, and sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station, and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too. To help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
Your political sixth sense. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
But if the working class, non-college educated voter is now increasingly a Republican voter, Democrats have to rethink the way in which they sell their policies.
Trump. The irony of that, of course, is nobody wanted Donald Trump to be president. Nobody wants Donald Trump to be president more than Bibi Netanyahu, who is backed by a far-right coalition that would like to clear-cut Gaza.
You know, I was born in the South. South Bronx.
Jim Carafano, welcome to the show and the greatest week in America in many years. How are you, my friend?
Well, I got to tell you, that was not unexpected.
Yeah, but how much he won by, right? The fact that it was a complete landslide, I think that was unexpected.
Well, no, actually, I don't think so. Because here's the deal. There were clear signs that he was going to win the popular vote, and that was because if you actually looked at the polling, he was making inroads in many different demographics that Republicans traditionally don't, Hispanics and other things. And let's face it, she was a terrible candidate. There was very little broad enthusiasm for her. But the other thing, which I think was very predictable, was the swing states. The issues were all the same. And this is the one thing. This was an issue election. It was not about personality and Nazis and the first woman. It was about issues. And the issues in all those swing states were exactly the same, which meant that if people were voting on issues, all those states were likely to swing the same way.
Right. No, I get that. And I was just too cautious to even dare to hope that it might be a landslide like that. Although I'm thrilled that it is because, it's a mandate. There's no way with the popular vote and the way this thing went, you can't claim it's a mandate. And you got people like that, I don't even know who that was, somebody on CNN complaining that the only person that wanted Trump elected more, was Bibi Netanyahu. What does this mean for foreign policy?
Yeah, so let me just make 2 quick comments on the election, because again, I'm not a political guy and I don't do campaigns and stuff, but I have to understand where people are going because that affects foreign policy, right? So one is it is a mandate, and it's not the same as Biden's election, because if we remember back long ago to the days of yore in 2020, Biden didn't run on what he did. Biden didn't run on completely open borders. He didn't run on runaway inflation. He didn't run on shutting down gas and oil. He ran it as a quote-unquote moderate. So he got a lot of votes, and he got a massive electoral count. But it wasn't a mandate because people weren't voting for his agenda. They were just voting, well, we're tired of the orange hair guy. Trump ran on his agenda.
Yeah.
And he got a higher electoral count than Biden did. And I believe in the end, when in the popular vote, he'll actually have won the popular vote by a pretty substantial margin. So that is clearly a mandate. But here's the other thing. He got a lot. He brought a lot of new people voting Republican, but they were voting on the issues. So the Republicans don't own those voters. They just rented them.
Okay.
And if they're going to keep them in 2028, and I can tell you this right now, and you can save the tape, 2028 is going to be a mandate on Donald Trump. And it doesn't matter who the Democrat and Republican candidates for. People are going to vote on, did Trump deliver or not? And so if he delivers in the next 4 years, then it's much more likely they will own those voters, and we will have shifted to becoming a center-right nation.
Yeah.
But it's not a done deal yet, because a lot of those voters could switch right back if they're not happy in the next 4 years. So what it means for foreign policy is all our enemies are super, super nervous. All our friends are really, really happy. And, the grifters and the haters and I'd just rather somebody I'd rather go to cocktail parties with, they're all like, oh, what do I do now, right? So that's where we are.
Yeah. Emmanuel Macron you're talking about there.
And look, and the thing is what's shocking is, the reason why we haven't talked every Friday for the last 2 years is half the time I'm running around Europe and stuff. So I spent a lot of time in Europe and, talking to people about Trump. But in many places in Europe, people thought 99% that Harris was going to win.
Yeah. Wow.
Just because they were consuming the same leftist media that leftists.
That's
so
right.
they're in utter shock. But the serious people, they knew where this was going and they're ready for it.
That's great. Jim, have a great weekend, my friend. Thank you.
I will now.
All right. Yes, you will. We all
buddy.
will. All right. See you later. You bet. Jim Carafano there from the Heritage Foundation. Great to get him on. Coming up, we're going to get to our friend Heidi Harris. Heidi Harris, coming up.
Heidi Harris on 97.1 FM Talk.
We'll ask her about those returns in Las Vegas and Nevada in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors. If you're younger than me, you may not have ever really experienced truly great customer service. You will with Triton Exteriors. We're a James Hardy siding company. We have a huge color selection. We do fences. We do pretty much everything on the exteriors. We have a great reputation. We have tons, 800 positive online reviews with Angie's List. Great with the BBB. Call 314-717-1159 or book online at triton-stl.com.
Friday morning. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. 44 degrees now at 7:30. A 10-year-old girl has died after getting hit by a bus in O'Fallon, Missouri. It happened around 3:45 yesterday afternoon on Lupine Court. The girl was a student in the Fort Zumwalt School District. The superintendent says extra resources and support will be on hand today to help students and staff. A U.S. postal employee who worked in the Clayton facility was arrested for giving someone a master key used to steal mail in exchange for bribes. According to the indictment, Cambria Hopkins was giving Malik Jones access to that mail for over a year, from March of 2022 to August of 2023. Jones is also facing federal charges. No trial date has been set. In sports, a 4-2 loss for the Blues against the Utah Hockey Club last night. Their next game tomorrow at 6 against Washington. Mizzou basketball plays tonight against Howard at 7. And at the same time, Illinois is taking on SIUE. SLU men play on Sunday. And last night for Thursday Night Football, the Ravens beat the Bengals 35-34. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk.
The accident eastbound 70 past Highway A has been moved from the left lane to the right shoulder. Seeing it there on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation from traffic cameras, and traffic is still stacked up behind that. Now, if you are eastbound on 64, there's just moderate volume out at Prospect. Then it picks up approaching 170 through Big Bend, and that's jamming up southbound 170 at 40. Eastbound 70, this accident at Jennings Station Road still has all lanes blocked eastbound. So if you are eastbound on 70 this morning, it's just a parking lot headed for Jennings Station Road. Now, hopefully they will get this cleared, but it looks like the tow truck is on the scene, hopefully taking the final vehicle out of the way. But look for a jam near Florissant Road. Now, if you are northbound on 55, it's just the usual volume, especially around Rivas Barracks. We had a couple issues on eastbound Highway 30 this morning. Accident at Highway Double P and another one at Carroll Park. Slow-moving traffic 141 through 270. 141 remains closed directly under 44 this morning. Also closed is the ramp from northbound 141 to eastbound 44. And drivers are using Bowles as an alternate to get to 44, so that's a little busier than usual. Northbound 270, moderate volume in pockets between Gravois and the Clayton Road overpass. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 733 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Let me tell you, if you are a wine drinker and you've not yet tried Stonehill wines, you are missing out. Stonehill Winery is in Hermann, Missouri, so it's not too far from St. Louis. It would make for the perfect day trip if you're looking for something to do, maybe even this weekend. This winery's been around since 1847, and what's really cool is you can actually go tour it, obviously taste the delicious wine. They have these incredible underground cellars. Again, it'd be the perfect place to go just for a quick trip here, not too far from St. Louis. But Stonehill's Cream Sherry just received a 94-point rating at the Decanter World Wine Awards this year. And let me tell you, just to put this in perspective, that's a really big deal. 94. It's the highest ever rating for a Midwest wine at that competition. But Stonehill is constantly winning awards for its wine. It's won over 5,000 medals. And if you're looking for a recommendation, if you want to try it this weekend, you could try Stonehill's Norton. The Chamberson's also super popular. If you're a red wine fan or a white wine fan, you are going to find one that you love with Stonehill wines. In fact, I had the Hellbender Blanc with dinner last night. It was fantastic. Today, cool opportunity for you to taste Stonehill wines. The owner himself, John, he's coming to Chesterfield at the Total Wine and More from 12:30 to 3:30. You can taste the wines. It's free. Just show up, bring friends. It'd be the perfect way to kick off the weekend. You can find Stonehill wines at just about any retail store here in Missouri. It is brought to you by our friends at Lore Wine and Spirits.
45.
We had a great first term, a great first term.
47.
God spared my life for a reason.
Donald Trump elected President of the United States again. It actually happened.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. Your boxes are wrapped and the gifts are in. Our employees are ready. Let the holiday ride begin. Let's start with the price. It's easy to manage when you ship with the reliable USPS Ground Advantage. In just a few days, it's sure to arrive. We're working nonstop to keep the spirit alive. USPS Ground Advantage, the affordable and reliable shipping solution for the holidays. Visit USPS.com/advantage.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
So listen, I'm gonna let y'all know this right now, okay? So you little trumpets, like, y'all won. I know y'all happy, whatever the ain't nobody acting like bitter losers. However, y'all need to leave me the alone because I got one more cigarette in me before I start lighting your asses up, all right? And that's word to the United States of America. Yeah.
Heidi Harris on 97.1 FM Talk.
Heidi, that is Cardi B losing her mind because she's getting trolled on social media about her support of Kamala Harris. It's funny to watch him melt.
It is. I'm glad you played it slowly because the first time I saw that, I had no idea what she was even saying, which language she was speaking or anything else.
She was walking out of a Target. You could see a Target over her shoulder in the background, and she's recording on her social media. You better leave me alone because apparently, you know, whatever amount of money that the Harris campaign paid her that helped put her $20 million in debt, maybe they want their money back now. Maybe that's who's trolling her.
Yeah, I was going to say now she's been reduced to shopping at Target. You get better deals at the Goodwill is what I'm saying. I'd go there.
Did we talk, Mark, about how supposedly Beyonce was paid? Did you hear $10 million and then she didn't even perform and people who were at that rally thought she was going to, so they started leaving before Harris even started speaking.
Wow, I didn't realize she was paid to show up and not sing. I knew she showed up and didn't sing. That's funny. That's a great gig if you can get it.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'd take that.
Getting paid. So how you been celebrating out there in Nevada this week?
Oh, my gosh. It has been so – I got to tell you, the day of the election, I woke up and I was a little nervous and thinking, what if she pulls this out, right? What if, right? But then I thought about it and I thought, there's no way that God spared – and I do believe this, that God spared Trump's life to have him lose. I just didn't believe that. And, of course, we saw the polls and the polls were looking promising, but you never know what shenanigans they're going to pull. In Nevada, here's the thing. The Nevada Supreme Court, before the election, ruled that they can count mailed ballots 3 days after the election, get this, with no postmark. Okay, so we're the idiots who, remember when you used to go, before you did your taxes online, you'd go stand at the main post office in your community at midnight, right, to get that postmark because it was so important to the IRS? We don't need that in Nevada, so they're still counting ballots. And here's the thing that makes me really irritated is that the Senate race, which is very tight, Sam Brown, Afghanistan war veteran, amazing guy, has a chance to beat Jackie Rosen. And she's a little bit ahead, less than 20,000 votes. But you know what makes me mad? Nearly 80,000 people voted for somebody else, none of the above. I mean, Sam Brown could have nailed this down if people had not thrown their votes in the trash, and that frustrates me no end.
Yeah, I bet it does. Yeah, I figured it was the ghost of Harry Reid that's still screwing things up in Nevada. I was surprised it took CBS News until this morning to call the state for Trump.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a good thing nobody cares about Nevada, right? Because we can screw up a one-car funeral, and I clean that up. What we need is, I don't know, Simon Cowell counting the votes or Joe Pesci in the count room. I don't know why. We can count to 21, but apparently we are still counting votes.
What do you think about what's going on in Arizona? A mess.
It's a mess too. And this is the reason, Kim, that people don't trust the voting system. They look at it and they say, why bother? And this is what we never want people to do, is to get disgusted and throw their hands up. It's ridiculous. As your previous guest mentioned, I believe it was JJ Carafano, we do need some kind of national law when it comes to federal races. Americans are entitled to know exactly what's happened. They should know on election night, frankly.
Yeah, I love the fact that Trump has already come out and he started kind of spelling out what he would do if he took over. I mean, one of the things he's now promising, and I'm sure this is just completely to kind of stick the knife in and twist it a little bit for these lefties. This is what he said yesterday about an executive order on trans surgeries. Hold on.
I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly.
Yeah, to Carafano's point on that, Heidi, the next election will be a referendum on how much Donald Trump sticks to what he promised to do. And obviously he may have both houses of Congress to get it accomplished. And the Democrats will throw up every roadblock they can, but he's got to get some of this stuff done.
He has to. And I'll tell you something else he's got to do. He's got to give a medical discharge to everybody in the military who's getting body parts chopped off or given sex-changing drugs. All of them should be medically discharged today, or the first day of his taking office. They should be medically discharged. Bye-bye. Go work for Starbucks. See if they'll pay for your surgery. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are undergoing that kind of treatment on our dime. It's unbelievable. Talk about military readiness, and the world leaders. We could go to war. Hopefully we won't with Trump. But the world leaders are laughing at us. They're not doing this in China, in their military. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did I hear that Trump in that speech, though, or the video that was posted, said something about like sex assigned at birth? I thought someone pointed that out. And that's the kind of narrative, though, that we have to make sure that we don't push that more, because that's the left's wording, and they've manipulated the way that we talk about these things, and it's very effective.
Very, very true. They always change the language, don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
what they always do. But he's got to be firm on this. I mean, I don't care what you do if you're an adult over 18 and you pay for every single aspect of it, go ahead. But don't put it on my dime. That's all I'm asking, and not when you're under 18.
Yeah, well, Heidi, I appreciate the fact that you're going to be helping us out on Monday. Thank you for that.
I'm excited. I'll be with you while you guys are sleeping in. I'll be covering the Marc Cox Morning Show. You guys are all abandoning me, but I can do it.
I know you can. It's so great to hear your voice again. I'm so jealous too, because here's what I want. I want an RV with a broadcast studio set up inside of it like you have.
Listen, it's very rudimentary. It's an old camper, and nowadays, it's all changed, as you know. I literally have a microphone, an interface, and my laptop, and I have done the radio shows from campgrounds and all kinds of places, and it's very freeing, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I'll bet it is. See, I need to talk to my wife about that, because she likes to go camping in places that are so freaking remote. You can't hope to get a signal strong enough to use a Comrex unit or something like that. So you'd have to be at least close to civilization to pull that off,
No.
right?
What about Elon Musk? What am I
Starlink?
thinking?
Starlink.
Come on,
Starlink.
Starlink could be your solution, Mark.
I don't know. Maybe.
I hear that's golden. I don't think it's cheap, but I hear that works. I have not used that yet because I haven't gone in the boony land like you do, but I do hear that it works well. So yeah, it's very freeing, and what an amazing person he is, and he's been such a factor in this election too.
You obviously have a different base to start from when you take off to camp, but in terms of out west, what's your favorite place to go camping?
Well, there are a lot of places outside of Vegas that are beautiful. Colorado's beautiful. Utah's beautiful. There are lots of places within just a couple of hours that you can go that are just gorgeous.
Yeah, I'll bet. That's on a Moab, and some of those others are on our goals list.
Can I tell you, Moab,
Yes.
don't bother.
No,
Don't bother.
really? Wow.
And something they don't tell you. Here's what they don't tell you. We just went to Moab a couple weeks ago. They don't tell you that when you go to Arches National Park, those beautiful arches you've seen, you can't see any except one teeny one from the car. You have to get out and hike, which is okay, except that I have a 16-year-old dog, and it was 90 degrees when we were there, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So just so you know, It's pretty to see, but there's a lot you don't see unless you're prepared to park and walk. Just letting everybody know.
You need those warnings. Well, Heidi Harris, we will. We it's great having you on, my friend, and we're looking forward to hearing you on Monday morning.
Thanks, guys. I'm so excited. Enjoy your 3-day weekend. I know you're doing a lot of things for Veterans Day, so it's not really a day off for you guys, but always happy to help you out.
Awesome. Great to hear from you. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
too.
Thank you. Heidi Harris there. You'll hear her here on Monday morning when we are off for Veterans Day, as we just talked about. All right. Coming up, Kim, what are we talking about on Kim and a Whim?
We've talked a lot about how pivotal, specifically the black men and the Latino vote was for Donald Trump to get that man elected. But you know who we've not really given enough credit to?
Who would that be?
The Amish. We got to talk about that.
All right. Coming up in just a minute.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Just had an accident reported westbound 70 east of Cypress. Watch for that. It sounds like it was in the right lane. Now, traffic is still unwinding on eastbound 70. We had that earlier closure of eastbound 70 at Jennings Station Road, and it left us with such a serious jam behind it. And then that put extra volume on southbound 170 as drivers kind of bailed and tried to take that down through 64. It's not bad, but it's a slower go than usual through there. Eastbound 64, moderate volume out at Prospect, and then east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. We've got northbound 270 with mainly moderate volume in pockets between 55 and Manchester. 44 eastbound, a little bit of moderate volume at Bowles. Eastbound to Highway 30 is stacked up between 141 and 270 today. We had an earlier accident at Highway Double P, eastbound Highway 30 at Double P. And northbound 55, there is some volume at Bayless as drivers head into downtown. Don't forget that we've got 141 completely shut down under 44, all due to flooding. And that has caused people to take Bowles to 44 this morning. A little bit heavier through there, but still rolling. And if you're headed in from Illinois, no delays on the bridges downtown. We actually look pretty good through there. This report brought to you by GL International Realty. Sell your home with trust, confidence, and written guarantees. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty is St. Louis's real estate expert. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 748 and 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Tyrus, welcome back to the show. Good to have you.
Gay men, straight men, women. It was a multicultural ass-whipping of epic proportions.
The Annie Fry Show, weekdays from noon to 3.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
The Lifestyles Unlimited team of real estate investing mentors and educators want to meet you. Learn to retire in 5 years or less in St. Louis. 2 days only, November 9th and 10th. Go to DellHelpMeNow.com. DellHelpMeNow.com. Enter code 2024.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life. While we celebrate the reversal of Roe v. Wade, there is still much work to be done to support life and pregnant women before they cross state lines. Together, we can provide the love, support, and options that women need to choose life for their children. Coalition Life celebrates more than 3,500 clients served and thousands of lives saved since we began this mission with you. Each one is a miracle. Over the years, day in and day out, our team has walked alongside women facing the fear and challenges of an unexpected pregnancy. Through the support of this community, we have given them hope and a path to choose life for the children they carry. Visit coalitionlife.com to give your vital support while reducing or completely eliminating your state taxes through Missouri's 70% tax credit. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com.
Solutions with conviction. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. Kim on a whim.
I think we need to give the Amish more credit for helping Trump win in Pennsylvania. Did you see the video of all the horse and carriages, the horse and cart, whatever you want to call them, with the Trump flags, the American flags, waiting in line to go vote?
I did see that image, but, I just thought it was like isolated. Somebody saw that on a side road and took a picture of it. I just didn't think the vote amounted to that big a number.
Well, let me put this in perspective. So a lot of them live in Lancaster County in Pennsylvania, and they believe there's about 100,000 or so of them who showed up. I mean, they really showed up. And I guess, I didn't realize this, I guess what led a lot of them to want to actually wait, I don't know how long they waited to actually vote, was because the government had stormed one of the local farms earlier in the year because of some unpasteurized milk. And the Amish community was absolutely enraged by it. And Donald Trump Jr. had tweeted at the time saying, imagine what law enforcement could accomplish if they went after members of the elite pedophile rings rather than farmers selling to their neighbors. And so I think maybe they felt support.
Oh, sure. I mean, Donald Trump, look at Mar-a-Lago being raided.
Right.
He's been violated by the federal government.
So if you look at the breakdown for Pennsylvania, Trump won by 136,000 votes, well, just shy of 137,000 votes. Lancaster County specifically, where a lot of them win, he received, it looks like 57% of the vote compared to Kamala 41%. So arguably the Amish could have made a big difference in him winning Pennsylvania.
I think that's fantastic news. I mean, he appealed to so many different groups. I mean, look at winning Dade County. Was it Miami-Dade County?
Yeah, Miami-Dade County. The Republican has not won that in how many years?
And I mean, it's dominated by Cuban refugees and people that have moved here from Cuba many years ago, Cuban Americans. And he won it by a greater percentage than even Ron DeSantis did in his last gubernatorial election. So many different groups came together for this.
Right.
But you know who the left hates, don't you? Can I play this for you? Me.
I would go as far to say that I would purchase a Glock, and if you and I are walking on the same street and it's dark out and you're a white male, you have to be white for this to count, okay? If you're a white male, even if you don't approach me, I will shoot you. Yeah, I know.
Isn't it funny seeing the left go crazy and try to blame all the white people for why Kamala lost?
They're ires on white men who must have done it. But it was I know most of the Amish are white, but it was African American men, it was Hispanic men, it was Asian men, it was Asian people. I mean, he expanded the scope of the Republican base in this country, even among Democratic areas.
I agree. And it helped that I think the President of the United States may have been trying to sabotage his own VP's campaign.
Yes.
I asked a question on Twitter just to get an idea of what people thought. Did Biden try to sabotage Kamala's campaign? 72% of you said yes.
I bet Joe Biden would have happily done it.
Well, that Jill Biden could have been the driving force behind that racist comment that Kamala made about Biden years ago. Maybe just still wasn't sitting well with her. There was some animosity. There usually is. I mean, think about Biden and Obama, and we thought they were buddies, and they'd be out there with their aviators looking like they were going to go have a beer together, and then you hear that there's a lot of tension and they don't get along.
How would you feel, Kim, if somebody attacked your husband's livelihood? The livelihood of the Biden family was their ability to influence policy, so they continued to get millions of dollars from China and Russia, and that's all gone now. He was a lame duck the minute he stepped away, and I'm sure those payments dried up so they could try to send them somewhere else. So, of course she was angry. It changed the arc of her retirement.
I could see one slip up, oh, whatever, he didn't mean to. No. Garbage, Trump hat, multiple pressers right at the same time she was having hers.
Yeah. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the monkeys on the loose down in South Carolina. I'll bet it's open season for the good old boys down there. Ryan Wiggins is going to join us as well at about 8:35. We'll be right back.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
President Biden went too far. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what a federal judge in Texas rules, blocking a Biden executive order as exceeding his authority, and siding with 14 states that sued, claiming the order gave mass amnesty to illegal aliens. The president said the goal was to keep families together, giving legal status to hundreds of thousands of people in the U.S. illegally who are married to American citizens. Meanwhile,
President-elect Donald Trump's plans to resume border control policies from his previous administration are coming under fire by Democrats, such as Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey. She says she will not allow state police to assist in immigration detainment and deportation.
That's Fox's Eben Brown. President-elect Trump has made history as he plans to take over January 20th. Picking the first woman to be White House Chief of Staff ever, Susie Wiles.
She's a longtime Florida-based Republican strategist who ran President Trump's campaign in the state in 2016 and 2020. She served as a senior advisor and campaign co-chair in 2024. Trump and others have called her the Ice Maiden because of her powerful yet unknown role in the party.
That's Fox's Brooke Singman. Israel has flown some of its citizens home from the Netherlands after they were attacked in Amsterdam by a group of fans, a mob chanting free Palestine, after a soccer game featuring an Israeli team.
After the game, footage shows Israeli fans being kicked and stomped on the ground, running, even jumping into Amsterdam's famous canals to escape. The attack is being condemned by the King of the Netherlands as an anti-Semitic crime.
Fox's Matt Finn in Tel Aviv. 5 of the fans were hospitalized. A wildfire fueled by hurricane-force wind gusts keeps scorching Southern California, prompting thousands of evacuations. Ventura County Fire Captain Trevor Johnson says
firefighters were right off the bat engaged in pulling people out of their houses and saving lives.
Lives saved, but dozens of homes lost. Neighbors helpless, left only to watch it burn from a safe distance.
Ed Laskos with Fox 11 TV. America's listening to Fox News.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Good morning. Hope your Friday is off to a great start. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. It is 44 degrees now at 8:03. A 10-year-old girl has died after getting hit by a bus in O'Fallon, Missouri. It happened around 3:45 yesterday afternoon on Lupine Court. The girl was a student in the Fort Zumwalt School District. The superintendent says extra resources and support will be on hand today to help students and staff. Thousands of people in Franklin County and even parts of St. Louis County could be impacted by flooding today. In Pacific, the Merrimack River is expected to crest today a little lower than initially predicted, but still about 11 feet over the flood stage. The Merrimack Valley School District is closed yet again today because of flooding. And in the Rockwood School District, some parents were forced to pick up their kids from school yesterday because buses in some cases weren't able to navigate the flooded roads. The Kirkwood School District has started interviewing candidates for the role of superintendent. David Ulrich, the current superintendent, is retiring and says he has plans to move his family to Phoenix. The goal for the district is to hire someone for the position by January with an expected start date of July 1st. It's 8:04 and 44 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. All right, in sports, a 4-2 loss for the Blues against the Utah Hockey Club last night. Their next game will be tomorrow at home against Washington. Puck drops at 6. Mizzou basketball plays tonight against Howard. Tip-off is at 7. Also happening at 7 tonight, Illinois takes on SIUE. SLU men don't play again until Sunday. And last night for Thursday night football came down to about the last 30 seconds or so. It was a missed 2-point conversion attempt that led to the Ravens beating the Bengals 35-34. 44 degrees now as we come up on 8:05. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, let's see. We've had some issues this morning, and there is an accident now on westbound 70 approaching Lambert St. Louis Airport. Watch for that one. They've moved it off from the left lane to the left shoulder. We still have a jam on eastbound 70 approaching Jennings Station Road. The left lane is blocked due to an accident there. We've got extra volume on southbound 170 this morning, as we had eastbound 70 closed for a while at Jennings Station Road. And it's a slow go south of the Rock Road down through 64. 64 eastbound, a little bit of moderate volume at Prospect, and then east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. If you are on eastbound 44, things look okay this morning. 141 is completely shut down under 141 is completely shut down under 44. Also closed is the ramp from northbound 141 to eastbound 44. We've got extra volume eastbound Highway 30 this morning, 141 through 270. And northbound 270, it's mainly moderate volume that stretches approaching Gravois up through the Clayton Road overpass. And if you're headed in from Illinois, we actually look really good on the bridges downtown. This report brought to you by New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring. New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring offers a state-of-the-art AI detection system, modern apartments, and delicious meals. New Perspective of Weldon Spring is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour day. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 8:06 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's a pretty Friday from start to finish. A little chilly out the door, but it is November. 62 will do it for the high. Mostly sunny skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. 50s for evening plans. All is dry for the Friday night football games. All is dry all night long. 46 Saturday. Periods of rain, some spot storms. 60 periods of rain Saturday night. Sunday, it's all gone. Partly sunny and nice. 65. Keep that going on Monday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
8:07 the time right now, 44 degrees, a nice start to our Friday morning. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now to listen to St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Listen to both sides.
The bottom line is,
I respect that. We don't agree.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Just to find a voice. Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
I don't know how to put this.
Marc Cox.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, it adds excitement, doesn't it, folks?
Hey, good morning to you. Welcome into the Marc Cox Morning Show. It is Friday. It is the 8th day of November. What a glorious week this has ended up being. I just have to tell you, we've been having some great guests this morning, including newly reelected Senator Josh Hawley in the 7 o'clock hour, about an hour ago. If you're there on the Odyssey app, you can hit the rewind button. We'll have the interview for you up on demand on the podcast here shortly, if it's not up already. So you can always go back and listen to that. He had some ideas on who might fill out a Trump cabinet, his thoughts on maybe Eric Schmidt being part of that, and maybe what the Senate could do now that Republicans might control both houses of Congress. So don't miss that interview. Again, that's available for you right now, or will be very shortly. Anyway, still to come, we're going to get to Ryan Wiggins looking at, speaking to the Senate, what happens in 2 years, right? So let's assume Republicans take control of the Senate. They've taken control this time. He's kind of looking ahead already to what's going on in 2026. And we're going to get Ryan on here at about 8:35 this morning. So stay tuned for that.
It's going to be big. I think the midterm elections, you could see a bigger turnout than normal.
Yeah, I do. I believe that. So we will we'll see what's going on with that coming up here shortly. First, though, Carl Middleman, I would like to get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist.
You're floating. Are you floating? This is 7:39 a.m. on the East Coast. Did Bakari Sellers just float Vice President Kamala Harris as a potential Supreme Court nominee?
Not only am I floating it, but I want to stir up everything. I want people's heads to explode this morning so we go into the weekend just knowing that the chaos has not ended just yet.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Kamala Harris on the United States Supreme Court. Could Joe Biden try to pull this off before his term is over in 73 days? I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Many Latino immigrants come from countries where they have truly evil, dangerous political leaders. They view the American political system and Donald Trump as far less harmful.
Ed Lavendera on CNN. Listen, he's trying to explain this to the viewers on CNN. Listen, these people you're talking about have lived with tyrants in their own countries, so they're completely comfortable with Donald Trump. They're still saying this garbage on CNN.
As of today, American citizens who do want to hold on to democracy, we know exactly what we're going to be spending the next days and weeks and likely years of our life working on.
A call to arms by Rachel Maddow there. She's fired up. She's not given up yet, and she wants people to take it to the streets. And guess what? She's not alone.
The first thing you're going to do is you're going to delete your period tracking app. I don't care what state you're in.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Kim St. Ange. I knew people tracked that time of the month, particularly if they're in family planning mode, right? But I did not know for the life of me till today that there was an app that allowed you to do that, because I just never really thought it through, I guess.
There is an app, and I'll be honest, I never would have thought that on the Marc Cox Morning Show we'd be talking about ways to track your period. But here we are. You know, this also, what I guess, would apply to men, right? Because according to liberals, men too can menstruate and they need tampons in the men's bathroom.
This is from the libs of TikTok. This is from the one more piece of gold given to us by them from a lady who went on and on yesterday. And this is not the worst of it. Listen to this.
The first thing you're going to do is you're going to delete your period tracking app. I don't care what state you're in. Go into your history, take out a paper planner, write down your history so that you have it, because I know that you track it. You use it to track ovulation and all of that stuff. You can't do that in an app anymore. Before you delete the app, you're going to delete your data out of the app. That's not a sure way to make sure that they can't use it against you later, but it helps.
What do you mean use it against you? Help me understand how not tracking your period, not tracking your cycle is going to somehow be a protest and shove it to the right, to shove it to Trump, to the patriarchy, because all these women are out there on social media quite literally shaving their heads saying, screw the patriarchy, this is in protest of what just happened here on Election Day.
They're promising not to have sex for the next 4 years.
Well, you know, we'll have fewer abortions, I guess, if that's the case. So
thank you.
I would support that.
They finally get it. Abstinence is the best prevention.
Abstinence works, folks.
I'm just telling you. Yeah, so that's how they're going to fight back on you, right? This is it. It gets better than that, though. Because that same crazy that told you to delete that because apparently the Trump administration is going to have a period tracker czar who's going to be tracking you down, right? Here's what else she's suggesting, Kim, for you.
Tied. I don't care if you're not sexually active right now, because guess what? That doesn't mean you're not going to get pregnant. And speaking of that, I'm sorry. Don't get pregnant right now. I'm sorry. It's your life. You do what you want. My advice to you for your safety is to not get pregnant right now. I am not going to get pregnant right now, even though I would love to have a family one day. That dream just went out the window forever unless I move to another country. I am not having a baby in the United States. I won't do it. Wow. Another thing that you may really disagree with, but I'm going to tell you anyway because I care about you and I want you to be safe. If you and your male partner voted differently this election, if he voted for that man, you need to leave him. You need to leave him. I'm sorry. You need to leave him. I know you love him. I know you love him. I know you think he's going to change. I know you think he just doesn't understand your problems. I know that you think he's more concerned about the economy. But especially if you're married to him, you are in danger right now. You are in a lot of danger.
I'm so glad my husband and I voted the same way so I don't have to divorce him.
You know who she sounds like? Do you know who she sounds like? Listen.
You know, I'm not sitting here as some little woman standing by my man like Tammy Wynette. I'm sitting here because I love him and I respect him and I honor what he's been through and what we've been through together.
What do you think Hillary's going to do when she finds out Bill secretly voted for Trump?
Don't you think that the liberals would be now offended if Hillary Clinton was saying that she respects her husband? I feel like they want to go against that.
Oh, I know.
It's crazy.
I'm not just some Tammy Wynette standing by my man. I mean, the Southern accent, all of it. It's one of my favorite sound bites ever. But that crazy lefty on TikTok kind of sounds like that Hillary Clinton accent that she borrowed for that particular sound bite.
And I'll say this, by the way, to all the married couples out there, be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
Have lots of kids.
Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Hey, coming up, so I teased it, so I'm going to play it for you. There is now a suggestion by the lefties in this country for Sonia Sotomayor to resign from the Supreme Court so they can appoint her replacement. I didn't know she was having either personal or health issues, but apparently she is. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg is reaching out from beyond the grave to warn them about what can happen if you pass away or leave when a Republican is president. We'll get to that coming up.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
On the roads, things are, well, improving. It just depends on where you are, of course. And if you are on northbound 270, things actually look pretty good at this hour. We've got a little bit of moderate volume on either side of Manchester. But eastbound 64 looks much better. I was going to say way better. Then I thought, well, that's weird. And then I made it weird. And then we've got some volume just east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. Now, if you are eastbound on 70, we've got an okay run all the way to about Florissant Road. We had a couple earlier accidents near Jennings Station Road that left us with a delay in that area. And some people just went to Natural Bridge to try to use that as an alternate, so some slow-moving traffic through there. Things look fine on the bridges downtown if you're headed in from Illinois. And eastbound Highway 30, there is some moderate volume today, a little bit slower than usual, 141 through 270. This report brought to you by Mosby Building Arts. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 817 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
After a whirlwind year, bring peace back to your home. Enjoy 10% off Mosby remodeling projects or no payments until 2026. Call 314-909-1800 by December 31st. Mosby Building Arts, bringing joy home.
All right, let's talk for just a minute about real estate because, interest rates are lower than they have been, and it's got a lot of people considering selling and or starting to look for that next new home. If that's where you are and you have questions, which I'm sure you do, call Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com is her website. Her company's called Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You got to back that up when you make that and that claim, and Gloria does that. I just went through this process with her. We had already found the next home we wanted to move to, so we needed to sell our home. Gloria will arrive at a price for you, and if your home doesn't sell for at least that, she'll buy it herself. So that's peace of mind that you're not getting with most realtors. I would suggest you to at least have a conversation with her and ask her how it works. They've got cash bid buyers who will bid against each other. They got people that'll buy your house, let you live there for up to a year while you look for that next home or maybe finish building a home. Lots of great options. Nobody else in town, I think, has as many options as my friend Gloria Liu. 314-325-6888. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Download the Odyssey app to listen to 97.1 FM Talk and find content that moves you. Anytime, anywhere. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk on the go.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Did you know millions of people are getting prescription medications for weight loss, sexual health, better sleep, and more, all online? RexMD.com has made getting these medications fast and easy, with free delivery of the most popular medications right to your door. Just fill out a brief survey, and if appropriate, we'll prescribe and ship clinically proven options to help with issues like weight loss.
I've lost 45 pounds so far. It's nice to get back into clothes that I haven't been able to wear for a long time.
We can also help with insomnia.
I slept through the whole night. It made me feel very well rested and ready to go for the day.
And RexMD can improve your sexual health.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is happier. I am definitely much happier.
At RexMD.com, we've made the process fast, easy, and affordable. Visit RexMD.com right now to get started. That's REXMD.com.
He's bringing the heat. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Wednesday after a worker failed to properly lock the cage. Within hours, animal control was on their tail, using thermal imaging cameras to help locate the furry fugitives. But the precocious primates still managed to evade capture. Officials say the escapees do not pose a public health risk, but they are warning people in the area to keep their eyes open and their doors closed.
Do not try to feed them. Do not try to take one as a pet, but just remain where you are inside, somewhere safe, and we'll get someone out there.
Monkeys will jack you up. Can I just tell you that? These are like, what do you call them, macaw monkeys? Anyway, 43 primates have escaped from the South Carolina lab. They were apparently all fairly young females. They hadn't actually been involved in any testing or anything like that. Rhesus macaque monkeys. And, I'm envisioning, because I lived in South Carolina for a while, I know this is how this is going to go. There are a bunch of good old boys hanging out of the windows of their pick-em-up trucks with their AR-15s or hunting rifles, hoping to bag them a monkey. That's how this is going to go.
Yeah, well, there's ladies who want to capture them and dress them up in cute little clothes.
Who want to pet them.
Right.
And they're warning you, these are wild animals. You've got to stay away from them because they will scratch your eyes out and tear your face off. So I texted with my brother-in-law this morning who's a biologist and knows a thing or two about these. And he tells me they're very dangerous, but they're going to do their best to try to find them. They're using thermal imaging in the woods around this thing, trying to lure them, baiting them with food to get them to come in, because these monkeys, you know what they're worth each? They lost 43 of them. He tells me they're worth $20,000 to $30,000 each.
Wow.
Female monkeys. I had no idea. I had no idea they were worth that kind of money.
Yes, I was going to say, who finds the monkey and then says you want it back? You're going to have to fork over some serious money.
They better not release that information down in South Carolina, or people are going to be out there live trapping these things, trying to turn them in for a ransom. Wow. Anyway, I thought I'd point that out to you. I've got to talk. I've got to talk more about what I heard from Bakari Sellers. I know you know the name. He's a pretty well-known liberal activist. He has hatched a plan. He claims that Sonia Sotomayor is not in good health. Did you know that?
No. How old is she?
I don't know, but she's not in good health. She would be the oldest of the three liberals on
70.
the court. Okay. And it says she's not in good health. So they all live in fear of a Ruth Bader Ginsburg situation where she up and dies, and then a Republican gets to appoint her replacement, which is a nightmare for them, because then it wouldn't no longer be a 7-3 conservative majority. It would be 7-2, right? No, 6-3 conservative majority, they would have a 7-2 conservative majority if a Republican got to replace her. So here's what Bakari Sellers said on CNN this very morning.
I know that she may be having some personal issues that she contends with while serving on the bench. But, I don't want Justice Sotomayor to be another Ruth Bader Ginsburg in terms of staying too long. What does this mean for the dynamic of the court? The court is 6-3 now. If we're able to replace it with a Biden justice, it will still be 6-3. The possibility of Justice Sotomayor having to resign or retire in the next 4 years is extremely high. You couple that with Alito and Clarence Thomas,
yeah.
then that means that you go from a 6-3 court to a 7-2 court in terms of conservative versus liberal. And so I hope that Joe Biden makes the next 10 weeks as consequential as he can. I don't care about drawing outside the lines or what Republicans may think about it. This is within your purview. You can actually do it, and you should do it. And, one more thing, John, is you have a hell of a vice president right there who has a legal pedigree to sit on the Supreme Court. And let Republicans go crazy and ape. I'm even mentioning that option.
First of all, would Kamala even want that? Maybe she'd like the power and just kind of a final shove it. But how quickly could the Senate really confirm that? So let's just say that happened. I'm sure they could move quickly, but they have 2 months or so, 2.5 months until Inauguration Day.
Well, and they have less time than that because they're going to have Christmas break here in December. But Chuck Schumer could try to force through something like that because he's still got control of the Senate until January, right? It's not an unrealistic. The point is, I don't think he could. The Republicans would filibuster it. They'd never They'd never approve it. It doesn't matter if it's Kamala Harris or Barack Obama, because some people had floated Obama, putting Obama on the court. There's no way they'd let it happen. Hopefully, McConnell, who's still the Senate leader, would do the same thing he did before and say, we're not participating in that.
It's possible, but I think it's very far-fetched. Now, what the liberals would absolutely hate is if something happens to her, health continues to decline, she has to leave, and then Trump gets to, oh my gosh, they would lose their minds even more than they already are.
That's what they have already lost their collective minds for sure. That's what they're trying to avoid. I didn't know if you knew that, so I wanted to talk about it this morning so you know what may be coming. Never a dull moment, even though Election Day has passed, huh? Coming up, Ryan Wiggins, he's taking a look at what happens 2 years out when the next round of Senate seats become available and a toss-up. We'll talk about that when we come back.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Onderlaw, voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis. We know how to handle the insurance companies, and we'll make sure you're compensated for physical, emotional, and financial injuries. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onderlaw today for a free review. 314 or 618-9-million. That's 314 or 618-9 all zeros.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
It's a pretty Friday from start to finish. A little chilly out the door, but it is November. 62 will do it for the high. Mostly sunny skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. 50s for evening plans. All is dry for the Friday night football games. All is dry all night long. 46 Saturday. Periods of rain, some spot storms. 60 periods of rain Saturday night. Sunday, it's all gone. Partly sunny and nice. 65. Keep that going on Monday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Airbnb reported third quarter earnings that were shy of analyst estimates, though it squeaked in a small revenue beat. The company reported roughly $3.7 billion in revenue, up 10% year over year. Airbnb said in a letter to shareholders that it is focused on expanding beyond its core markets. The stock fell about 3% in after-hours trading. Portugal's government plans to resume the sale of flag carrier TAP in 2025 after receiving interest from more than a dozen potential buyers. Officials said that TAP has also been strengthening itself in financial terms, with operating results in line with or higher than its European peers. Manolo Blahnik, the high-end shoe brand, has opened its first store in China after a 22-year battle over the legal right to use its name. In addition to the new boutique in Shanghai, the company expects to open a new store every year in China for the next 5 years. Futures are mixed just before the bell. That's Your Money Now.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Well, it's been an interesting Friday morning commute. Usually it's the afternoon that's tricky. But this morning, things have been challenging, but it's looking a little bit better. Now, we still have the accident westbound 70 near Lambert Airport, and they've been trying to move that off to the shoulder. Still some slow-moving traffic there, but eastbound 70 has thinned out, and it looks great from Wentzville into downtown. 6440, just some volume here and there between Lindbergh and Big Bend. Westbound slowing at Clayton Skinker. We've got northbound 270 with some moderate volume on either side of Manchester. 141 remains closed directly under 44 because of flooding, and the ramp from northbound 141 to eastbound 44 is closed. And eastbound Highway 30 this morning, we had a couple of accidents, and there's more volume on that as drivers use that as an alternate because of the closure at 141 and 44. So that's still a slow go. But northbound 55 looks good through construction zones and no delays on the Poplar Street Bridge. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 833 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Okay, and don't be mad at me if you find out about this too late and then you miss out on it, because you have a great opportunity right now. If you're going to replace your furnace and air conditioner anyway, why would you not do it when you could get $4,400 back in your pocket? Listen, Carrier Cool Cash rebates have been doubled right now on qualifying HVAC equipment. You could save anywhere from $100 up to $4,400 with the most efficient of those units. And you qualify for 0% financing, then that you get that for up to 72 months, utility rebates, which are hundreds of dollars on top of that, then tax credits on your tax bill for next April. I mean, you're not going to get an opportunity like this again because there's some big changes coming in 2025 to the heating and air conditioning industry that's only going to drive prices up. Call my friends today at Air Comfort Service, Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. They would be happy to come out and talk to you about the Carrier Cool Cash rebates, give you a free estimate, all the details. Contact them right now at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com. Responder Rescue is serving area first responders, and all this month they're hosting an ATF raffle. Marc Cox here. Join us in supporting Responder Rescue as part of our First Responder Spotlight. Learn more at 971talk.com.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
Nailing it. Marc Cox.
My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! I hope, Ryan Wiggins, that Donald Trump is as immediate and strong on all these issues as he campaigned on, because if ever there's been a mandate, and it's been probably the Ronald Reagan landslide since we had one like this, he's got it handed to him.
Yeah, mandates like this, I didn't think were possible anymore.
I didn't either.
I thought we were just in too divided of a nation to see somebody win that many electoral college votes, and that, well, a Republican anyway. I could have seen a Democrat maybe do it like Obama in 2008, but that's rare. And to see him do this after, it's not just to see him do this, it's to see him do it after everything that he's been through. Double impeachment. Yeah. I mean, the lawfare, the entire media apparatus being against him, the government going after him, trying to bankrupt him. You name it, and he's been through it. And he just won with a decisive victory.
Did you hear his attorney yesterday in response to Letitia James? Have you heard this bite yet?
No, I haven't.
So Letitia James, the AG in New York, the one that's already been suing Trump, the one that ran on the promise that she would get Trump, just elect me and I will spend my entire term just going after Donald Trump. We hate him so much. And she came out yesterday or the day before, because I played the sound yesterday, and said, we're not giving up. We will fight tooth and nail against the Trump administration in anything they try to do in the state of New York, blah, blah, blah. And here was what his lawyer, Mike Davis, said on a podcast yesterday. Cut 4.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights, and I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
Wow. Yeah, he's going to take some grief for that. I'm glad that he said it, but I'm glad that he waited until after the election to say it if he's going to go name calling. But that lady is nasty. She hates Donald Trump with a purple passion, and that shouldn't exist in our law enforcement mechanisms in the courts. She's the chief law enforcement officer for the state of New York. She shouldn't be singling out individuals to seek charges against them.
Yeah, it's tough to go after people legally who are using the legal system against you, because they're not technically breaking any laws, but they are violating a lot of ethics rules by doing it. Yep. And so there are enforcement mechanisms that should be in place within, the not necessarily our legal system putting them in jail or anything, but just the bar association and things like that. They should come after people who openly campaign and say, hey, you can't say I'm going to find a crime once you elect me. That is unethical. So you have to have some sort of enforcement against these things. And right now, I'm looking at an election as the enforcement because that is going to take care of a lot of these problems. But there should be people calling her out on the left.
Well, there should. Maybe he's just taunting her because he referred to her as sweetheart, and then he made the weight comment.
Yep.
Maybe he's taunting her, hoping she'll try something so that a Trump Justice Department could step in and try to do something about it. I don't know, just speculation. You wanted to talk about the Senate this morning, though, right?
Yeah, so I'm sure you guys have been watching with bated breath all these races that are being called. Pennsylvania is now called, at least by the Associated Press. I don't know what the freaking governor of Pennsylvania is going to do. Like, get it over with, buddy.
Dave McCormick, right? He was the one he beat the incumbent.
Yeah, McCormick has won that race, which puts the Republicans at 53 seats, and that's if Carrie Lake can't pull off a miracle. It doesn't look like Brown will be able to in Nevada. That would be another Republican victory. Doesn't look like he's going to get it, though. Carrie Lake still has a path. It's unlikely, but it's very possible.
I don't know that it's unlikely. She was polling 57 to 43 on the last 70,000 votes they released. If she maintains that pattern in Maricopa County, there are over 450,000 votes they haven't counted yet. If for every 70,000 she picks up 10,000 votes, she could win. She's only down 43,000 votes right now.
Yeah, it's still very possible. I still think it's unlikely because everything does still have to break her way.
Yes.
Although the numbers do look like they're there.
It looks like they could.
So that could happen. But let's say that she doesn't and Republicans have 53 seats. If we get 54, man, that'd be awesome. But 53 is really, really good for a year like this because you didn't know about Ohio, definitely didn't know about Pennsylvania. So picking up that extra seat alone is great. Looking ahead, though, now they're going to have the majority, hopefully, in the House, too, for now at least 2 years, which means 2026 comes along. Okay, President Trump is still president. He would then hope to still have a Republican Congress. We don't know anything about the House. That's down the road. But we can predict a little bit more about the Senate and what it'll look like in the last 2 years of Trump's second term. And it looks pretty good. I keep hearing, it's not as good of a map for Republicans. Well, that's true. This was a really good map. But in 2026, Republicans are defending North Carolina. They're defending Maine, which Susan Collins, you never know with her.
No.
You really don't.
No.
But let's say, and Ohio, because J.D. Vance's seat will be up at that point. But that's 3 seats. Let's say all those go wrong. Republicans still would be at 50-50 then and still have the majority with the presidency. They're also defending, though, Michigan, Virginia. Don't think those will go Republican in an off year, but they will have to defend them. And Georgia. Georgia really could be a pickup for Republicans.
So the Democrats then have to defend that. You're saying they have to defend those.
They have to defend Michigan, Virginia, New Hampshire, technically, too.
Yeah.
But I don't think these are going Republican. But Georgia.
Huh.
Georgia's a big one.
Yeah, it's true. And he won Georgia overwhelmingly.
Exactly. So even if everything goes completely sideways and they don't get any of these things to break their way, they still will have a 50-50 technical majority for 2 more years of Trump's presidency.
Who's the other senator down there? Not Warnock. Who's the other one that won? I can't remember his name.
Ossoff?
Yeah, is that it?
John Ossoff?
Okay.
Yeah. I think I can't remember which one it will be up, but one of those
it wouldn't
two.
be Warnock won last time, right? 22?
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think so.
How do you think that this impacts voter turnout for especially midterm elections, but even in 4 years? You know, with Trump, I think a lot of people went to the polls who really never voted. I mean, we had that 95-year-old woman we interviewed earlier this week, Betty,
yeah,
who voted for the first time ever in her life, and she didn't like Trump before, and she now obviously changed her tune and was saying we have to get Trump in office. Do you think that there's just so much divisiveness? The Democrats are so terrified of a Trump presidency and Republicans in power that will drive them to want to vote in a couple years. And then you have the Republicans who are scared to give up control because we've seen what happens when you have a liberal in power.
2026 should be a good Democrat year. They're going to have 2 years of incessant complaining about the things that Donald Trump's going to do, and he's going to do hard things. He's not going to be just in there trying to make everybody happy, and he's now going to be a lame duck president, so he can do pretty much whatever he wants.
Yeah, but
whole
if
agenda.
they work, if people feel like prices are going down at the grocery store, if prices are going down at the gas pump, that could work to our advantage. And
it could. It's just that the anger and hatred of that guy is so palpable, and the media is not going to give up. They're going
in a non-general election year. It'll be a little tougher than it was this year.
Well, all the women who have shaved their heads in protest of Trump being elected, their hair may grow back by then. They could shave it again if the Republicans maintain power.
They
It's like Samson. They'll get their power
They
back.
could, that's right. That is exactly right.
Hey,
Where's Delilah?
So, real quick, I want to mention, because I mentioned it before, we are going to Kim and Carl and I are going to be in the Florissant Veterans Day Parade this Sunday at 1 p.m. This is sponsored by Cassins Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. We'll be riding in the back of a pickup truck in the Veterans Day Parade. The weather's looking beautiful, sunny, 60 degrees. Can't wait. Kim's bringing the family.
Yep.
So that'll be fun. We'll get to see Easton and Michael.
Yep.
So
they will be there.
Carl's going to be there. Is Nicole coming with you, Carl?
She is.
All right.
Oh, and
awesome.
tomorrow's her birthday, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday, Nicole Middleton.
28, I hear.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. So you will not be there Sunday, but you are going to the Edwardsville Parade on Monday,
We're
right?
going to be in the Edwardsville Veterans Day Parade, which starts at 3 o'clock on Monday.
Okay,
I
we
do
is in
believe
the Annie Fry
we is in
Show?
the Annie Fry Show.
Yeah.
I do believe some of the Annie Fry Show will be there Sunday, too, though.
They don't have a cardboard cutout of you that they could put in the truck for the Annie
we can
Fry
work
Show?
on that. Maybe we can
Yeah.
paste my face over
the Trump cutouts.
You've got a couple of them in there, so you
I
can
do.
spare one.
I should bring one and put it in the back of the truck. Just
That actually would be pretty funny.
Politicize it. But I know most of the folks up there. And Sue Thomas is coming, and she's bringing Oscar.
Nice.
So that's going to be really
Easton
cool.
will love that.
Yeah, that's very cool. The Reardon Show, I believe, is going to be there. So we'll all be represented in the Florissant Veterans Day
Just
Parade.
Oscar, Sue?
She
I'm
told
not
me.
bringing both.
Okay, that's a handful. It was funny last time she brought him because his legs are so short. He had to get up on the little wheel well of the truck to look over top of the side of the truck to see what was going on. So
He thinks it's all for him.
he does.
Well, I
He does.
apologize in advance if my son chases your dog around.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how that will work because mine is a football that will just want to tackle.
Yeah, that's true.
So we may keep them apart.
All right, Ryan. Thank you, my friend. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
No
All right,
problem.
We're coming back with more on actually a Veterans Day special you can take advantage of if you're hungry on Monday. So I'm going to talk about that, and of course we're going to talk about our first responder spotlight. Stay tuned.
Well, things are thinning out nicely on the roads, but we still have that. Oh, no, as soon as I say that, they get it cleared. Westbound 70 looking much better at the airport. It looks like they have cleared that accident. There was an accident, too, on eastbound 6440, kind of in the Ladue area by McKnight, but it looks like that is gone as well. So traffic thinning out nicely at this hour. Don't forget, though, 141 remains shut down under 44. That's all due to flooding. And we still have some extra traffic, or at least a little bit slower, on eastbound Highway 30 between 141 and 270. Quiet, though, on the bridges downtown. Westbound 40 a little bit slow. Clayton Skinker out through Hanley. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 848 at 97.1, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Tyrus, welcome back to the show. Good to have you.
Gay men, straight men, women. It was a multicultural ass whipping of epic proportions.
The Annie Fry Show, weekdays from noon to 3.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors, specifically my friend Tim Nesbitt, who is the owner. He is from the customer service business, 20 years in the restaurant business. So the answer is yes. What's the question? Anything you need. Hospitality, personal service. We're upscale. We're a James Hardy company. Roofing and siding and gutters and great value. Tim just texted me and he beat the next closest bid by $15,000 just this week. You can call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
This is your First Responder Spotlight.
All right, shout out to our friends over at the Edwardsville Fire Department and Ambulance Service. In fact, they are the lucky winners this week because I'm going to be heading over there a little later with a fantastic lunch for them from Grill Master Tony. And that's going to be delicious. Looking forward to getting over there just before lunchtime for them today. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks to all of you the paramedics, the firefighters there in Edwardsville. Always love going to downtown Edwardsville. It is a beautiful place. So thank you for that. It is our First Responder Thanksgiving. Got a raffle going on. Remember, you can text the word responder to 33100 on your phone or tablet. You might win alcohol. You might win tobacco. You might win firearms. It's the ATF raffle. It's fantastic. Raffling off thanks to the range. That CMMG Descent MK4. It's a 9mm rifle. It's beautiful. I've got a picture posted up on the Facebook page, I believe, so you can look at that. The Lit Cigar Lounge for a party of 10 in their private Luciano Lounge. It's got a bottle of bourbon, cigars for the evening. They've also donated a bottle or two to go in the basket of bourbon, which is the third potential prize, right? And the basket of bourbon includes the Weller Antique 107. It's going to have some Midwinter's Night Dram in it, which Carl Middleman is picking up for me later today.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. A bottle of Blanton's Old Dominic Cask Strength Stolock Whiskey has donated some. My friends at Lore Wine and Spirits are helping us out as well. Four Roses Single Barrel is going to be in there. It's valued at over $1,500. Three fantastic prizes. And in the basket of bourbon, we're also going to throw in a Blues jersey signed by Rob Thomas, which Carl is also picking up for me today. Thank you, Carl.
You're welcome.
Hey, it sounds like you're eating something.
I am. I'm having French fries.
So one more time here. Text responder to 33100 on your phone. That's the easiest way to enter. You can go to our website as well, 971talk.com. Click on First Responder Thanksgiving, and there's a link there to go buy your tickets. They're only $1 a ticket, but the minimum purchase is 10, so you're getting 10 chances to win. The more you buy, the more extra tickets they throw in on top of that. So please donate. All the money goes to Responder Rescue charity, which helps our first responders if they get injured in the line of duty, and I love what they do over there. So let me mention, I mentioned the fact that we're going to be in the parade in Florissant at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Hope you can show up. I'll be there. Kim and Carl are going to be there. Sue Thomas is going to be there. The Reardon Show, some folks from the Annie Fry Show. So we're all showing up, and I'll be emceeing the event afterwards. It's going to be a lot of fun. Always a great turnout there on down Main Street there by the VFW in Florissant. I know I got the street name wrong. I apologize. But please show up. It is Veterans Day. And right now I want to thank our friends. If you're a veteran, here's what you should do. On Monday, go to any Lion's Choice restaurant in town. They dropped off a couple of sandwiches for us this morning. Mm-hmm. Now, nobody in here happens to be a veteran, but if you are on Veterans Day on Monday, go by there and tell them at checkout that you are a veteran or show them your valid ID, and you get a free original roast beef sandwich and that is fantastic. And they're also they have a 20% Heroes discount that they offer all year long if you're a veteran or active duty military. So there you go. I hope you have a chance to. How was the food, by the way?
Yummy.
Fantastic.
You two are being so quiet.
Mm-hmm.
For good reason.
Because your mouths are full.
Uh-huh.
And I'm having to do all the talking. I'm no good at that.
This is one of the only times I'll be quiet. Your wife and my husband say the same thing, right? They're like, how can you possibly have enough to say to fill 4 hours? And my husband would say, that's not even the start of it. She comes home and talks a lot.
And my wife would say the exact same thing. In fact, she's always wished she had the mute button that Carl's got over there, so he can just turn the mic off anytime he wants to.
That was
Thank
for you.
Carl.
Yeah, Michael would love that, too.
Thank you. Hey, shout out, happy birthday to Nicole Middleman tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's up and listening this morning. We appreciate that.
We have an eye doctor's appointment today, so I hope she's up.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, hey, have a great weekend. Turn out to the Veterans Day Parade in Florissant, 1 o'clock Sunday. Hang out with us for a little while. That'll be a lot of fun. We are not going to be here Monday morning because it's a holiday. It's a station holiday. Heidi Harris, who we talked to earlier, our friend Heidi Harris from the Heidi Harris Show, will be filling in Monday morning, and we'll
Heidi
be
Harris
back
on 97.1 FM Talk.
Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. Have a great weekend. Kill Me Eat is up next. We'll talk to you Tuesday.
Catch anything you missed today by getting the show podcast at 971talk.com.
The Roots and Boots Tour 90s Electric Throwdown with Sammy Kershaw,
That's my story.
Colin Ray,
Oh, that's my story.
and Aaron Tippett.
I'm here